Hi, folks. Bob Mannery here. You're listening to A2D Radio, real sports talk radio for the fans, by the fans, no agenda. These guys are the best in the business. Hashtag it. No notes.
A2D Radio, Sports Hounds here with you till 10 o'clock. BMW Atlantic City Studios. Brad Ryer directly to my right. Frank the Tank Vesby producing as usual. And folks, Markelle Fultz is on the court as we speak. Number 1 overall pick in the NBA draft. Sixers traded up with the Boston Celtics to get him. He is playing tonight after a 68-game absence. 1 for 4, 2 points. Had a nice little drive lay-in for his bucket. But I don't really care what he does tonight. The fact that he's out there is fantastic. There's, 10 games left in the regular season. Sixers have clinched a playoff spot over the weekend. Yeah, if they're going to make noise in these Eastern Conference playoffs, which can be had, Raptors sliding a little. Kyrie Irving's hurt for the Celtics. LeBron is playing out of this world, but hopefully they don't have to see him until the Eastern Finals. This is a good thing for the Sixers.
Oh, yeah. It gives them a little bit more depth. Really, he just needs to try to get into game shape, and hopefully he can be a useful piece in the playoffs, because I think that's what you need to aim for right now is the playoffs. That's what it's all about.
6 minutes. Sixers down 53-45 to a very good Nuggets team down at the Wells Fargo Center. Fultz played 6 minutes, serving as Ben Simmons' direct backup tonight. TJ McConnell also having 6 minutes tonight. He has 2 points. We'll see how they balance their guard rotation. But I get TJ McConnell's the cute hustle, rocky story of the Philadelphia 76ers, but if Fultz is right, he's a way more talented player than TJ.
Well, the ceiling's certainly a lot higher.
100% want Markelle Fultz out there over TJ McConnell.
Most
every day of the week, twice on Sunday.
Most definitely. I mean, look, the Sixers right now, if you look at it, they have a chance to make some noise in the playoffs. There's no question about that. If they're not intimidated by the NBA playoffs, and this team is able to go out there and just conduct business as usual, they can play with any team in the Eastern Conference. There's no question about that.
We'll see, and we'll see if they can. We'll get back to the Sixers in a little bit because baseball starts Thursday, and I'm jacked.
Yeah, it should be fun. David Roska saying that the Phillies have way more of a chance than the Angels.
Well, I mean that's ludicrous.
David,
I
respect your
we got
being
some
a Philly
we
fan,
got
but
we got some homers flying in here.
Mike
too,
Trout
on
is
Facebook.
Mike Trout's the best player in baseball, and
Thomas Arnone first in the NL East for the Philadelphia Phillies. Like, I mean, look, I get come on, Tom. Like, you're smarter than that.
Maybe third.
I honestly think they're lucky that the Marlins are in the division, so they don't finish last. This team can't pitch.
No, they really can't.
They can't pitch at all.
They can't. And to be honest with you, I mean, I was actually watching a little bit of the exhibition game yesterday. I was pretty impressed with Pivetta. I think Pivetta has pretty good stuff, but I mean, Ben Lively
is terrible. Jake Thompson stinks.
So these guys that they have, these pitchers that they have are terrible. I mean, I just don't. If God forbid anything happens to Nola or to Arrieta, they're going to go on long losing streaks.
This team's going to lose 100 games if Arrieta or Nola miss any extended period of time,
or if they go into a slump. Which pitchers
sometimes
don't pitch
do.
Well.
You're absolutely right.
Season. You know, it's a long season. Suppose Arrieta has just like maybe 2 off games in a row, or Nola has 2 off games in a row. I mean, my God, they're listen. They can hit a little bit, and I love Rhys Hoskins. I think if you're betting the over/under, they said the over/under was 27, 28 home runs for him.
For who? I'm sorry.
Rhys Hoskins. I believe the over/under
about
this year
right.
was 27 or 28. I'm
Well-
taking the over all day with him.
You're going to take the over.
Yeah, I think he's going to do 35.
Okay.
In that ballpark?
I mean,
in Philadelphia with that ballpark?
that's fair,
can
but
reach-
he's not going to hit 330.
No, but he can hit 280.
He could. I see him 260,
270, 280. I mean, that 270, 280, and get a bunch of walks.
What?
270, 280 with
Slide
a lot
over
of walks.
just a little bit to the left.
All right, Frank, doing a great job producing as always. Get me in line.
There we
Am I
go.
Good? Am I good here? All right, cool.
But 270,
Just
280 and a
notes
bunch
from
of
the
walks.
boss himself.
There you go. There you go. But you get he'll get a lot of walks too, so you have a good on base percentage with him. Honestly, I don't see them finishing higher than third. I don't, and I know some of you guys are gonna think that I'm New York prejudiced, and trust me, when it comes to the Mets, I am not prejudiced. I hate the Mets. I'm a Yankee fan, but I do think the Mets right now are a little bit ahead of the Phillies.
I agree. I think that's the second.
I think the Mets are going to win 81 to 82 games this year, and I don't know that the Phillies are a 500 team.
Tom or no, the Phillies are winning the division. Where do I place that bet at? What kind of odds do you want on that? That is
they are
easy.
not
That is
winning the
easy money. They're
division,
not better than the
Tom.
Washington Nationals.
Tom, come
Not
on.
better than the Mets. I think they're going to struggle to outlast the Braves for third place.
They'll
Honestly.
be if they win
the
77
Braves might finish
games,
second.
They could finish second. I mean,
They're over. I looked at their over/under last night at 78.5. I'm betting the under all day.
with the Phillies.
Correct.
Oh yeah, they're if they can win 75, that would be good.
All right, let's get to
mean,
some of these. Michael Cromo. I think the Phillies will finish second in the East, just outside of the second wild card. Welcome back, Mark Hull, 10-9-8. Have a great show, fellas. Michael Mataraki, third, second if everything breaks right. That's the key right there.
Michael, you
If
got you hit the nose in the road.
everything goes right, if Nola and Arrieta win 15-plus games, 15-plus each,
And pitch 180 to 190 innings each.
and Vince Velasquez stays healthy, gives you anywhere close to 170 to
and
180
somebody in the
innings.
back end of the rotation can give them 140 reliable innings.
But on these nights, Arrieta and Nolan are gonna have so much pressure on them.
Yeah,
to
it's going to be
pitch
tough.
6, 7, 8 innings every time out, because when Vince Velasquez can't get the ball over the plate or gets rocked because he's a thrower, not a pitcher, and gets chased in the fourth inning, this shitty bullpen's going to come in and get rocked, and it's a stone loss.
Yeah, I mean it's going to be tough for them to. It's going to be tough for them after the second pitcher. You know, the first two
Ben
were solid,
Lively
but
stinks. You say
Ben
you
Lively, I
see
saw him
pitch in
yesterday.
Spring, he
Ben
stinks.
Lively got rocked by the Baltimore Orioles yesterday, and you could say, oh, the Orioles have a pretty good lineup. Yeah, they do have a good lineup, but they were using all their bench players yesterday. I mean, the only regular that played yesterday was Mancini, and they rocked him yesterday. I mean, he's not good. Ben Lively looked terrible to me. I thought Pivetta yesterday pitched pretty well. I think he gave up one run in 4 innings.
Pivetta is fine. Pivetta can fill out your rotation as your fourth or fifth guy. That's fine.
Yeah, but you need to be a competitive team. That number 3 hole is so important.
and it's Vince Velasquez.
Yeah, and
And Eichhoff is hurt.
he is not
Who's
going
not
to
good.
beat.
He's
yeah,
nothing special
he
either.
is not
but
going to beat other teams' number 3 pitchers. He's just not. If you look around the league at number 3 pitchers, I mean, at a good teams, at any team that is good, that has a number 3 pitcher, and I mean, we could compare some of the better teams in the league. Okay, we can go around the league, like say Houston. Okay, you start
let's
with
not go. Let's
or
go.
the
let's,
Yankees
let's,
or-
let's pick a team that's number 1 in the National League.
Okay,
and
let's
number
pick-
2
let's pick the
closer to the middle of the pack.
All right, so we won't pick
What
the
about the
Nationals.
Cardinals? Like, let's compare the Phillies
All
to
right,
the Cardinals.
Martinez
is a million. He's not a million times better than Aaron Nola, but he's better than Aaron Nola.
He's better right now. Luke
I don't know. That's interesting because
Luke
Carlos
Weaver?
Martinez walks a lot of guys.
strikes out a lot of guys. He's pretty good, but
He
yeah,
is good.
He walks a lot of guys. He's a really good, solid pitcher. Who's the second? I forgot who their second pitcher.
They have
You
Luke
drafted him.
Weaver.
Luke Weaver is is their number 2. Who's their number 3 right now?
I'm gonna bring it up.
It's not Wainwright because Wainwright
Wainwright-
stinks.
Wainwright. He's also gonna start the season on the DL.
Yeah, well, of course he's going to start the season on the DL. He's always on the DL now. he and Greg Bird, I believe, have a golf date to be on the DL all the time.
Fuck Greg Bird.
Greg Bird. Greg
Michael
Bird.
Waka, 100%. Miles Mikolas, Jake Flaherty, Wainwright, and Reyes are going to start the season on the DL. That's a exponentially better rotation than the Philadelphia Phillies have.
Wack is significantly better than any third
Right,
pitcher
and then
on the
you have
Phillies. And that's an average. And folks, the Cardinals have a very average.
But let's
rotation.
take the top two guys out of it. 3 through 5, you have Luke Weaver, Mikolas, who's from a foreign player from somewhere.
I don't know
I don't
anything
really
about
know.
him.
I don't
I don't
really
know
know
anything
much
about
about
him.
him, but I like him better than Ben Lively.
Yeah, I do too.
I
You
like
can't
him
be
better
worse
than.
him.
I mean, Nick Pivetta. He shows signs of being good sometimes.
I thought he looked. To me, he has a nice curveball, and I think that if he can get his curveball over, he looks like he's a pretty decent pitcher. I think he's got good stuff. Now, whether that translates during the season, I don't know. I thought he looked pretty good yesterday, though.
Big Greg Milkovic, second place for the Phillies. They're going to hit. Just have to hope the back end of the rotation holds up. It's end of the deal. Greg, it's not going to. It's not going to.
Listen, if you want to say second place,
It's not going to.
if you want a second place, let's compare their pitching staff to the Mets. Okay, right now, and not that the Mets are all that great either, but the top of their pitching staff is spectacular. Syndergaard and DeGrom you can put them up against any two pitchers in baseball as far as 1 and 2.
Agreed.
Now Harvey, Matz, who knows if he could stay healthy, has a lot of ability. Gesellman, but you know what? These are guys that at least have shown you in the past that they have some ability. What Philly pitcher has actually gone out there and shown you the ability of a Steven Matz or a Matt Harvey or a Gesellman? None of them.
None.
None of them. I mean, I'm not saying that these guys are so magnificent anymore. They're not. But I mean, they at least they have a track record that they have a ceiling that's pretty high. None of these guys on the Phillies have shown that they have that high of a ceiling. So where's the pitching coming from that you think they're going to come in second? I don't know. I mean, if the Mets get hurt again like they did last year, maybe. But, I mean, the Mets still have Jay Bruce, and they still have Yoenis Cespedes. You know, they got some guys that can hit. Frazier's not a bad player. They've got guys in their lineup who can cause a little damage, too. I just don't think right now, and they do have a closer. Familia's very good.
Thomas Arnone, Harper, and Max get hurt. Well, you want to play games like that all show.
Who?
Then Harper and Scherzer get hurt for the Nationals, so the Phillies win the division.
Harper and
logic.
Scherzer get hurt. They still have Gio Gonzalez.
I mean, even with those two injuries, I think the Nationals.
If Harper and Scherzer get hurt, they still have Strasburg. They still have way better pitching than the Phillies. They still have Strasburg and Gio Gonzalez.
But I mean,
and they still have Trey Turner and
like I said,
Dan Murphy, and we could go on and on with that team. That team's loaded with talent.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, if you want to play games like that's fine. But even if there's two players get hurt who are all world players, I'm not saying it won't hurt the Nationals. They're still going to walk away with the NL East. It's not even
the NL East is
not even going to be a contest.
Pitiful. The best division right now in the National League is clearly the West. But I'll tell you
sure?
what. I'll tell you what though. After
It's not
what
the
happened,
Central anymore. Or it's
know.
not the Central with the
After-
Giants' struggles there.
After what happened with the Giants, I don't know now. That was awful.
Mike Parker, look at the other side. They lost a ton of games last year by one run and scoring under 3 runs. We added bats and a leader in Arrieta. That's why there's hype. Yeah. Look, they didn't do anything to address the bullpen. So instead of losing 3-1, you're going to lose 9-8 this year. That's going to be the only difference.
You did bring in Santana, and I give you that.
That's fine.
He's a good player.
I haven't been as hype on that one as
I like
Phillies
Santana.
As
I mean,
Phillies Nation has been.
I like Santana, but I mean, he's a pretty good player. I like him, but I still don't see them coming in higher than third. I think second would be their absolute max. If the Mets get the injury bug again, they could come in second, but they're not beating the Nationals. It's not going to happen.
No, and unfortunately, you look at the wild card. You got the Diamondbacks, who they're nowhere near.
They're not as good as the Rockies.
They're not as good as the Rockies.
I mean, if they go to
they're
Colorado,
not as good as the Cardinals. They're not as good
Rob,
as the
what
Cubs.
happens-
They're
what
not as good
happens-
as the Brewers.
what happens when they go to Colorado and they have to start their third, fourth, and fifth pitchers in Coors Field? The Rockies might
They're gonna
score
get
15,
bombed.
20 runs a game.
I mean, the Phillies might score 15.
They
but
might,
That's still going to be a loss.
But they're gonna lose. They're gonna lose 20 to 15. I mean, and listen,
Those are the kind of games you're going to see this year from this team, and it's going to
Yeah.
be extremely frustrating.
and they're gonna have
Just
some
like
games.
we saw the games last year where they lost 3-1 or 2-1 or 3-2 or 4-2 because they couldn't score.
Also, remember the other thing: they're not gonna pitch to Rhys Hoskins as much this year. He'll get some more walks. They're not gonna let Rhys Hoskins beat him, and they're not gonna let Santana beat him. They're gonna make other guys on the team beat him. And the question is their lineup deep enough? And they've got to get a lot out of Miguel Franco. And I don't know if he has it in him.
I don't know either.
I mean, I'll tell you what, he hit a bomb yesterday.
He's been hitting bombs in
He
spring.
hit a
but,
bomb yesterday, but you know what? He has got to. If you guys really want to be competitive, he has to have an all-star type season. If you want to make a run at the Washington Nationals, and again, I think I'm thinking to myself that's totally impossible. But if you guys really think you want to compete with the Washington Nationals, Franco has to have an all-star type year. He's going to have to hit 280. He's going to have to hit 30 home runs and drive in almost 100 runs. You're going to have to get that kind of production to make Santana and Rhys Hoskins better.
What about how can I expect that to happen on March 26th at 8:17 p.m.?
I don't know.
How am I supposed to say?
I'm being realistic though, Rob.
understand.
Where is it going to come from? I mean, Hernandez isn't going to hit a lot of home runs for you. He's a pretty good hitter, but he's your second baseman. He's a decent player. He's okay. I mean, how much is Herrera going to give you? Does Herrera have the ceiling to hit 25, 30 home runs and drive in a lot of runs?
No, that's not the type of player he is.
That's what I'm saying though. It's going to be hard for them. They need Franco to really be the kind of ball player they're hoping he's going to be.
They need a bopper, and they need to get away. They need to get Scott Kingery in the lineup.
Yeah, they do.
You just paid him
They do
a lot of money with
did-
no big league experience.
and they don't really. Do they have a good left-handed hitter on
How
their
do you
team?
feel about that? Paying a guy that kind of money with no big league experience. The St. Louis Cardinals did a similar thing earlier in the spring with Paul DeJong, but Paul DeJong hit 25 home runs last year.
No, he's very good. He's a good ball player. I mean, Kingery is one of the top prospects in baseball. So I mean, you could make the argument.
He's
but,
not even the Phillies' top prospect, though.
But as far as offensively, he's a great hitter. So they think. I mean, they're taking a leap of faith. I'm not sure why they would do that and be in such a rush to do that.
But
that move to me just sounds very, very strange. I mean, Matt Klentak has done a lot of strange things in the off season. That's one of them. I mean, I kind of don't get it. I mean, there are still a lot of players out there that you can pick up to improve this team, and he really hasn't done it. You could also still make some trades too. And I mean,
why Cesar Hernandez is on this squad and hasn't been traded for pitching? Same with Altair, Williams, both. You got Roman Quinn down in AAA. You got option to AAA today. Cameron Rupp was released.
Roman Quinn.
Thank God.
Quinn, after watching him yesterday, Roman Quinn is not a good major league shortstop right now.
He's not supposed to be playing shortstop.
What's
He's a
his
center
position?
fielder. They're just
Oh, they
dicking
wanted
around
his-
with spring training
Okay,
stuff.
because boy, oh boy, did
can't
he
play
not
shortstop.
Yeah, he looked. He didn't look particularly sharp at shortstop. I'm just trying to be nice here.
Mike Parker, your rebuttal is Gio Gonzalez, junk baller. Like, do you watch baseball? Gio Gonzalez is a tremendous pitcher.
Yeah, I was gonna say Gio Gonzalez is really good. Who cares if he throws junk?
He gets guys out.
He
and
gets
wins.
guys out and wins a lot of games. I mean, Gio Gonzalez is solid. Gio Gonzalez could pitch for my team anytime.
Big Greg, the bullpen is a lot better than you give credit for. Tommy Hunter, Nishak can get guys out. And Adam Morgan, for as much as he gets murdered in this city as a starter, is a problem out of the bullpen when he can throw gas for 15 pitches.
Tommy Hunter walks too many guys. Okay, that's why he's pitched for 1,000 different teams. Okay.
Pat Neshek is good. He's a good player.
Neshek is good, but he's one guy. You know, you can't pitch him 4 or 5. You can't pitch him every day. Somebody else has to be out there. You have to in the year 2018, your bullpen has to be 3 or 4 deep to be effective. You can't have just one guy. If you have just one guy, you're never going to win, because in the 7th and 8th innings you're going to get killed every night. Because pitchers these days don't go more than 6 innings, so you have to have your 7th and 8th inning guys. And I don't see anybody in the Phillies bullpen that's going to come in the 7th and 8th inning and shut the door every night. I just don't see it. Not yet, anyway. Maybe somebody will stand up and be counted, but I don't see it right now. Do you?
No, Wayne, Blackniak, Cardinals don't have a bullpen. I mean, they don't, and I don't think Mike Matheny is all that he's cracked up to be as a manager either. Cromo, who's actually a Cardinals fan, Phillies have a better bullpen than them. Part of the problem is Matheny stinks and burns out all his bullpen arms.
That's because last year he didn't have any starters. But I mean, look, as far as the Cardinals, the Cardinals are not going to be the team.
As a Cardinals fan, do you think that the Phillies are going to win more games than the Cardinals?
Yeah, I kind of doubt that.
We'll see if he answers.
I kind of
wouldn't
doubt
take that bet.
No, I wouldn't either.
Deion Brown,
but the Cardinals are not the team that they have to worry about as far as the wild card. The teams they have to worry about as far as the wild card are the Rockies and the Diamondbacks.
The Brewers.
The Brewers, yeah. The Brewers are pretty good.
I mean, if the Brewers beat out the Cubs, then you got to worry about the Cubs.
Yeah,
the wild card.
I just don't know about the Brewers. The
second place,
rotation.
whoever finishes second in the National League East is going to be a wild card contender. I think that's going to be the Braves, honestly, and I think that's going to be just by default. They're going to
could be.
I mean, they have a lot of game range.
They have a lot of young
contend for the wild card.
They have a lot of good young players on their team.
Ozzie Albies and Ronald Acuna. I mean, they're messing around with Acuna right now because of his service time.
Well, yeah, they're not. He's not going to play till April 17th.
Once he comes up, I mean, that's going to be an extremely dynamic top of the lineup. Freddie Freeman's an MVP candidate.
Swanson looks like a pretty good shortstop.
Serviceable for sure.
He's not bad. He's very young, so he should get better. I mean, Atlanta's got some good young players on the team. It's just a question of when they're going to step up and be ready. I don't know about their pitching. I mean, who knows with Julio Teheran? I mean, he 2 years ago he was phenomenal. Last year he was not good. I mean, he was a bad pitcher last year. His ERA was over 5, wasn't it? Was it like 5.4 something?
Who?
Julio Teheran.
He didn't have a good season last year.
He was really bad.
He was really good he was good in 2016.
2 years ago, yeah, that's what I'm saying. 2 years ago,
we'll see.
He was phenomenal, and last year he was terrible. So I don't know what the deal is with him. I mean, that's going to be.
Now we got some chiming in on the Kingery contract. Greg Milikovic, the contract is very backloaded and taking him through the arbitration years. He makes $7 next year. He makes 1.5. It's not a lot of money. No, it's not. But the fact that they did that, I want to see him starting on Thursday. If he's this good and he's the fucking future of this organization, I want him out there because I have low expectations for this team. I've seen Cesar Hernandez. I know what he can do, and I like Cesar Hernandez. He goes out there. He tries his best. He runs the bases well. He fields well. He hits doubles and triples.
He's a good player. He's a good player.
Gets on base. He can hit at the top of the lineup.
He's not
but
a
if
dynamic
Scott Kingery
player,
is this good that you're gonna make this a pretty unprecedented contract when
for
it
the
comes
Phillies.
For anybody. This guy has MLB
do
service time.
Do you know who did that? The Cleveland Indians in the 1990s when they had Manny Ramirez and Jim Tomei and some of those other guys in that team.
Albert Bell,
all those guys. Yeah, all those
Omar
guys.
Vizquel, Robbie Alomar, they were loaded.
When they first came up, okay, they went and signed them all to long-term contracts to keep their money low. Okay, and they grew with the team. And Julio Franco is another one. And they grew with the team, and they ended up being a very good team. Maybe that's where Clentak is getting his cue from.
And I think that's fantastic. I want to see him Thursday. If Scott Kingery is not in the starting lineup on Thursday
Roberto
afternoon,
Alomar, then it's
fucking
okay.
pissed.
Yeah, but if Scott Kingery ends up being Roberto Alomar, I think you'd be happy with that.
That's great. And like I said, I think this team's going to win between 70 and 75 games this year.
I think it's about 75. I think 75 is about right. I think 70.
If that's the case,
that might be a little
I
low.
want him at second base every day. If he's this good to get this basic, really is an unprecedented contract. If 9 years of control with this guy, it is a backloaded contract. I get it. You're keeping his money down because you think he's the truth. That's fine. If you think he's the truth, I want him out there on Thursday. I want him out there for 155 games at second base this year. Until you figure out if Franco can pull the wagon at third, I want him at second base every day. No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
I mean, we know what Cesar Hernandez can give you. We've seen him for how many years now?
Right.
How many years? I mean, we
Put
know
Cesar
what he
Hernandez
is.
at shortstop if Crawford can't do it.
Can he play shortstop though? Does he have the arm for shortstop?
I don't
that's,
care.
No. I'm just
I don't
saying though,
care.
shortstop. You have to really be athletic and have a strong arm to play short. Second is a lot easier.
With this contract, you're telling me that Scott Kingery is no doubt about it, can't miss, future of the franchise, all-star talent. And that's fine. I sort of agree. I love the way he hits. I love his approach to the game. He's a second-round draft pick. I mean, not many Phillies high draft picks make it to the majors because they absolutely stink at drafting. But if that's what you think, I want him out there as a 24-year-old. 24. You look at all the other top prospects in baseball that are getting either 21, 22, 20. This guy's 24.
Rob, Aaron Judge's first year in the league was 25. So I mean,
that's detrimental to my argument, Brad. So
I'm just saying, he 24, 25, you should be really good by then.
Right.
That's when you start to hit your peak.
So I want him at second base. Is that wrong? Is that a bad opinion?
No, it's
my
time to
off
get him
base
out
there. I want him out there for 155 games at second base.
But by putting Hernandez out there, they're hedging their bet.
I don't want to hedge the bet.
I'm just saying.
I don't want to hedge the bet.
But aren't they doing that though?
Put Cesar Hernandez at third base. Put him at shortstop.
Yeah.
Put
Shortstop would
with this contract that's could be worth
about
up
right
to $65 million if my information is correct on what I read today. I want Scott Kingery out there every single day at second base.
Yeah, I would agree with you.
Nothing, no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
I mean, you got to put him out there. If you're gonna pay him the money,
and I don't care if he slumps. I don't care if he hits 195 in April. I don't care.
Well,
if it's May 1st, he's hitting 195. I don't care. I want him out there.
Averages don't mean anything.
You know what I mean. You know what I mean.
Yeah, averages don't mean anything till June.
Okay,
be honest.
Fair point. It's a fair point. But
if you're not hitting, averages don't mean anything till June. If you are hitting, they do mean something because
I don't
you're showing
care
some potential.
if he looks like he could make Tom Arnone's U9 combat team in the first 30, 35 games of the season. I don't care. I want him out there every day. If he's this good to get this contract and get this money, I want him out there.
I don't blame you. I agree with you. I mean, it doesn't make sense not to put him out there. I mean, let's see what he's got. I mean, I don't know. I mean, we know what Hernandez is. There's no downside to that. You know what Hernandez is. You know he's going to do the job, or trade him.
Mike Parker.
It doesn't
Phillies
make
have
sense.
sucked at drafting since 2000. Amen to that. Amen to that. You know, they've only had one first-round pick since 2000 make the major leagues.
Who is that?
Aaron Nola.
Seriously?
For real.
Wow, that's
terrible. Terrible draft. I think Chase Utley was a third-round pick.
Oh, okay.
I
was going to ask you about him. What about Howard?
But Howard, I mean,
Howard didn't make it for a long time because they went and signed Tomei and left him to
right. But he wasn't.
He
He kind of came out of nowhere. He wasn't.
Yeah, no, I remember all of a sudden he hit 40 home runs in the minor leagues one year.
Right. He came on late and hit for power.
Since what year?
Since 2000.
Since 2000.
Am I
so
wrong?
starting at the 2000 draft, their first round picks, the 2000 draft, Chase Utley.
He was a first round pick.
He was a first round
Cole Hamels, also a first round pick. Let's see. Some of the other names on here. Well, J.P. Crawford, Aaron Nola.
There's been some sucky ones in there.
There's a couple questionable
There's
ones.
Too many really bad ones, though.
Yeah,
That's the problem.
there's some very underwhelming ones. I know Kyle Drabeck, Travis Darnode,
Ugh.
Jesse Biddle.
Oh,
Oh,
the worst.
Boy, I remember.
And
that.
he only got picked by the Phillies because Ruben Amaro was feeling his oats, and he went to Germantown Academy.
Yeah, they had some bad first round picks, but
There's
know
a
what?
stretch-
Gavin Floyd also made it to
Oh.
the majors as well.
Yeah, but he wasn't
was
good.
terrible. At least he made it to the majors, though.
Yeah, Joe Savory also made it,
Joe Savory, he was terrible.
but yeah,
Okay,
I'm looking at all these picks.
Brian Daly,
Yeah,
Kingery
they-
will be the everyday second baseman next year. Cesar is the end of his contract, and unless they trade, he should play. Why? Why should Cesar Hernandez play over Scott Kingery? Why?
I don't know, unless you're planning to trade him. But everybody already knows what he can do.
Well,
There's no
everybody
mystery
knows.
with him.
Everybody knows you're going to try and trade him now because you just gave Kingery
All that money.
this
So
contract.
you just destroyed his trade value because they know
That's
you're going to want to
correct.
get rid of him. But you know what? I guess
He hit 298 last season. Yeah, that's great.
that's he's very solid.
He hasn't hit a home run since Little League.
Oh, okay.
Like, I mean, Scott
Yeah,
Kingery,
Scott Kingery's going to.
you're telling me he's going to be a middle of the order bopper at second base.
How many home runs seriously does Cesar Hernandez get a year?
I don't know, he
Average.
probably reaches double digits barely.
Oh, that's not good enough. That's not good enough. But I mean, if
But
he
why
steals
is-
a lot of bases,
Why is Cesar Hernandez entitled to the second base job?
Well,
He's not
'cause
entitled to anything.
I guess he's the incumbent. I mean, I don't know. That doesn't seem to make sense.
Deion Brown. Guys, where's the strength on this team? I say the outfield. You guys let me know. I'll wait. The strength of this team is
Well, the top two
top two
pitchers
pitchers are good.
are
I
real
guess you could
solid.
say, I mean, Herrera,
the first four guys in the batting order are pretty good.
right, Herrera is good.
Yeah, Herrera,
Hoskins is good.
Hoskins,
That's your left and center
Santana.
fielder.
Herrera, Hoskins, and Santana are a nice 1, 2, 3. You know, I mean that right there is not bad. I want to take a look at Cesar Hernandez's stats here. Okay, for the last few years. Okay, this past year, 9 home runs, 34 RBIs, 15 stolen bases, 85 runs scored. 85 runs scored is a lot of runs to
Right,
score.
and he gets
That's
on
not
base.
too
He
bad.
gets on base at about a 350 clip, which is
Yeah.
fantastic.
373 actually. That's
which
not
is
bad.
higher much
That's
higher
not
than
bad.
I thought.
Yeah, that's not bad. He had 294 last year. In
I mean,
2016,
Deion, to answer your
same
question, I
thing.
guess the outfield, even though I don't trust Nick Williams as far as I can throw him, I think he's going to strike out 200 times this year. Strikes out multiple times a game in spring. We'll see about him. I like Altherr, but he can never stay healthy.
I mean, but the problem with Hernandez is and if you go by lifetime,
I don't understand.
Lifetime, his
Why
lifetime
is he
stats
entitled? Why is he entitled to that second base job?
Yeah, with these numbers, 5 home runs and 39 RBIs
Why?
are not good enough.
Go ahead. Why is Cesar Hernandez entitled to the second base job over Kingery?
Well, listen, if we're going to talk about like where the kid's going to play, I mean, let's be real on where he's going to play. He's going to play over the mud at third base. He's not. He made. This is what I love about this. What happened here today? Because Brad, you'll know because you're not a Phillies fan. I mean, Rob, we've been through it a long time.
But I can be
They
very objective.
Yeah, but
about
they
it, though.
never do this. This is the first time in the history of this franchise where a kid came to camp, flat out put on a show, if it's on the mound or at the dish, and got credit for doing it. Saying, now you tell your whole organization now, when we come to camp, if you produce, you're going to have a chance to make the big squad no matter what your arbitration
teams-
is.
That's great.
And that's what I
A
love.
lot of teams do that.
Most teams, good ones do.
Yeah,
They do.
most good teams do that.
Like the
with
Yankees
their
don't
young
care about
players.
your arbitration. You come up and hit, right? And you're
You're gonna play.
You're going to play. They're
Well,
going to find somewhere
the
for you
Phillies
to play.
with the fifth biggest market should never care
Should
about
never care.
about that bullshit.
Never care. But
No,
my
never.
thing about Caesar, I'm a big Caesar guy.
So am I.
Because-
he's great. He's a good player.
But this is what's going to happen, and we were talking about it yesterday, and it makes a lot of sense because it's like, well,
Scores a lot of runs. He scored 85 runs last
he does
year.
score,
That's really good.
and he was hurt too, if you remember.
85. He scored 85 runs.
What was
That's
he out a
good.
month? He was out at least a month last year, at
That
least.
means when this guy gets on base,
I have to look at how many
he
games
had 370. He has a 370 on base percentage and scored 85 runs. That's really good.
And
That's great.
and the
I
vets
don't have
do.
any. I don't have any expectations
doesn't have
for this
enough-
team this
he
year.
doesn't have enough power,
I
though.
want to see Scott Kingery 155 games at second base.
You're going to see him 4 days a week, maybe 5. I think the internal conversation between Quintac and Kapler had to be to bring him up. How can we make sure he gets on the field 5 times? And the way to make sure he can is, okay, he can play third 2 days, right? He can play second 2 days.
That's
right.
great.
Caesar can go play short for a day over JP, give him a day off, and then Kingery can also go play right or left for a day. So you have essentially 5 days
All right,
a
so you're
week
gonna
that
find. So you're gonna throw him all over the place defensively.
Yep.
First, that could be tough though on a kid.
from what I've seen in camp, where he's done a little bit of everything, all he does is mash. And you know,
No. I understand
I know,
that. But
I
I'm-
agree
I'm
with
just
that
saying
concept.
That's
when
fine.
a rookie.
I have
when
a
you
hard
a rookie
time
putting him all over the place defensively, though.
No, I
That
agree
can
with
be
you.
that sometimes can be a little unsettling.
Now, I don't know about the outfield as much, but I know that.
No, the
Yeah.
outfield is jam packed. Forget it. They
You know,
need to-
I
they
know
have enough
that-
to figure out in the outfield.
You know, I know that he's gonna play second. He's gonna play third. Now, in my opinion, he's gonna play third more than he's gonna play second, just because of Caesar. Now, what you could even see is Caesar playing a little third and Kingery playing second at times.
I would rather see that.
What does it matter? What does it matter if he plays third or second?
But Franco is having a
It
really good.
doesn't. I have a hard time taking Franco's potential of 30 home runs out of the lineup.
Over Hernandez?
Yes.
I'm tired of. Listen, I'm a Kel Franco guy. I've been, but listen, I'm tired. I'm tired of the goddamn potential talk with him. I like lighting fires under asses, and the way you light a fire is say, "Oh, Scotty, we're going to give you extension. Not only going to give you extension, we're bringing you
And
up."
hopefully that
right?
works.
And hopefully, I said it
That's
yesterday to your point, because we know he can hit. He's hit his whole minor league career. He gets hot in spurts and he flats out rakes. Franco, I'm talking about. So
Right.
hopefully it lights a fire and he can hit you 30, 35 home runs. Hopefully for all these guys, it's like, man, we don't know where we can put this kid right now because everybody's hitting. That's the goal. The goal is where you're handcuffed and you're like, I don't know how to get all these guys playing time because everybody's hitting. That's the goal. So
You need that. You definitely need that to
Would
happen.
you agree, though, that if Franco pulls his weight at third and Kingery keeps this going, like Cesar's the odd man out, he's the utility guy?
no, because he just hits. He just hits. He gets on
He
base a
doesn't-
lot. He hits a lot. He really does. He's a 300 guy. He really is. He's a 290, 300
All
guy.
right, but
For them to contend for the I mean, you're in the chat.
I know
if
him.
you're, I know if you're serious or not. If you think the Nationals, you're going to overtake the Nationals.
I think they're
you're gonna
second
need
place.
You're going to need 30 home runs out of Hoskins, Kingery, and Franco for that to happen.
I think Aaron Nola is, and part of my conversation on why I think they can compete for first in this division.
He's a top 10 starting pitcher.
he's
in the
very
league.
good.
I think
He's
if
very
he
good.
can be anywhere he was that 10-game stretch last year, if he can duplicate that in the 20, double it, that big stretch he had, and he can put that in the 20 games, he's going to be in the conversation as a top 3, top 5 Cy Young guy because his numbers through that 10-game stretch, the only guy better was Kershaw.
I have
so,
no problem
now, can
getting on
he
board
can
with
he
that.
do it, Brett? I don't know.
I have no
listen,
problem
he's
getting
got-
on board with that.
He's
No
got
problem.
a lot of
But
ability. I mean,
if
there's
Nola
no
or
question.
Arrieta miss any type of extended period of
You're in
time,
trouble.
any injury, or Arrieta has a month where he just clunks out to start,
And that's
that's when
happen
these
with
losing
guys.
streaks are gonna
That's
add up.
that's what happens sometimes with these guys.
There's
I mean, they'll have
no
a bad-
margin for
they'll
error
have 2 or
because they
3
didn't
bad
sign any
starts.
arms until 2 weeks ago.
No, you're right. I mean, realistically, I think they're second, they're third, they're in that mix, depending on what the Mets staff's like. I'm not buying into the Mets staff. I think they're second in the division. I think these kids are good enough to hit. I know they're going to hit. So the question comes down to is what we just talked about.
Can Kingery pitch?
Right? Can
Yeah.
Kingery pitch? Can any of these guys throw?
I would disagree with you about the Mets. I think the Mets right now just are a little better than the Phillies.
I agree. With the arms healthy, they are.
Yeah,
Now,
I mean, right now they are a little
Cespedes
bit
is
better.
an MVP candidate if he's healthy.
If Cespedes stays healthy and he hasn't pulled any of his hamstrings yet, so maybe he'll be okay this year. But between him and you're going to get Conforto back the second week of the season, Jay Bruce,
That's all he's
Todd
missing?
Frazier. Yeah, he's going to be back the second week of April.
yeah, if all them arms stay healthy, they're
Fucking
dangerous
steal
too.
it.
with
fantasy
DeGrom
for you.
with DeGrom and yeah, I know. So DeGrom and Syndergaard, Matz has always had a lot of talent, but he can never stay in the field.
We were
Harvey-
the same way.
Harvey, I
Steven
don't
Matz
know.
stinks. Give me
You're
a break
wrong
with
about
Steven
Steven
Matz.
Matz.
I'm not wrong about Steven Matz.
I'm telling you, you're
I'm
wrong
not
about
wrong
him.
about Steven.
But I think that's
He's got
your fighting for the second with.
Huh?
I think it's between the Mets and the Phillies
Yeah, I think
for that
I
second
think
spot.
so. At this
You don't
point,
like the Braves at all?
They're up and coming. They definitely are. I mean, they're going to
Who's
probably be
gonna
a little
pitch though? for
exactly.
them?
I mean, Julio Teheran's must be 45 now. I mean, I feel like he's been throwing forever. That's the only guy I even
He
recognize
was
on their
so
staff.
bad last year.
He was
though.
really bad.
and he was so good the year before that. That's why
He's like an off and on guy, yeah.
Yeah,
It's going to be fun, though. At least we're in the conversation to have this talk, you know? I mean, that's why I'm not worried about where, back to Kingery, and I'm going to let you guys go. But, that's why I don't even care. Playing wherever you got to play him because I'm just happy that this organization isn't doing what it's done for the last – since I've been following them.
Good organizations do that. If you recall in the 90s with the Indians, do you recall when they went and they paid Robbie Alomar, they paid Albert Bell, they paid Julio Franco, they paid Tomei, they paid all those guys came up together, and they paid them.
But all
to
those
stick
guys
around.
were the truth, though. I remember
But they didn't know that at the
I don't
time.
remember the exact numbers, but I remember the Rays doing this with Longoria.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
they
the
did.
Rays. I mean, the Rays probably just took a shot in the dark because they don't want to pay anybody, and that's what they have to do to keep good players.
And I look at the Red
They
Sox
kept-
and Yankees do it all the time. And they're big boys.
The
they
difference,
act like it.
but you know what? The Red Sox payroll is $235 million. You know what the Yankees is right now? $180.
That's amazing, right? Isn't that amazing?
I mean, it's
that they're
totally,
outspending that.
It's totally the opposite now of how it
And
used
I don't.
to be.
I'm probably one of the few Phillies fans that don't have a problem with the Yankees.
I don't care.
I don't care.
The
I don't
Yankees
care.
have not. When was the last
I
time
hate
the
the
Yankees
Mets.
went
I don't
out?
hate the
I
Yankees.
hate the
I hate
Mets.
the Mets.
When was the last time the Yankees went out and really spent a lot of money on a free agent?
I think Boston's just a bunch of snobs. I hate
They got
yeah,
that
they
way,
spend
yeah.
a lot. They spend a lot. They
All right,
spend a
boys.
lot of money on guys.
I'm out. Good talk. I heard
Yeah.
Caesar. I got excited.
Yeah.
I got excited. You drew me in.
He'll find
Thursday.
a way. He'll find a
I can't
way.
wait.
Thursday at 4, baby.
I can't wait.
So you know what?
See
The
now,
bats-
here's
the bats
something.
will do the talking.
Here's
That's
another
it.
thing.
Bottom
You hit,
line.
you play.
Yep.
Here's another thing.
See you,
'cause
boys.
Markel Fultz, he's they're what are they? Midway through the third quarter, he has 2 points and 1 for 4 shooting. He only has 6 minutes.
He'll get
What's the
some more.
point? What's the point
He'll
of
get
that?
some more. He'll get. What's the score right now?
They're up 71-66.
All right. When they get a bigger lead,
They're not gonna have a bigger lead. They're playing the Nuggets. They're the 5 seed in the West.
okay. So then it's going to be a close game throughout. I don't know if they're going to play him more than that. I mean, you might see a
But
couple of minutes in
why?
the third quarter just to give Ben Simmons a rest. Because that's probably going to be, that's probably going to be what the rotation's going to be right now. You probably aren't going to see more than 10 minutes. They're probably going to bring him back slow. You know, but I mean, listen, he'll get playing time if he deserves it. I think you can pretty much.
But I mean, 6 minutes. I mean, come on, let's get him out there. There's no way he could be tired.
He shouldn't be, but I don't think it's a question of being tired.
I get it, basketball shape, but the only way to get in basketball shape, Brad, is to play basketball.
Well, yeah, game shape. Yeah, I mean, you're right. You're
I mean,
right. But you know,
they've
they still want to win
they've
these
clinched,
games.
They've clinched a playoff berth. They're
Okay.
in the playoffs. Yeah, you're still playing for seeding, but you're playing the Nuggets. It's a hard game. Number one, you're at home tonight. You got the crowd. I would just like to see him.
Yeah, they're not going to blow.
I
it.
don't see. I don't
They're
see
not
him
going to
getting
blow. They're not going to blow them out. The Nuggets are a good team. So, I mean, I think the real story right now in the NBA is Stephon Curry.
Oh, and my heart breaks for the Warriors. My heart breaks for those hipster doofuses out there on the West
Yeah,
Coast.
exactly.
I hate
I
the
can't
Golden
stand
State
them.
Warriors.
I can't stand
I
them.
cannot stand the Warriors. I hate Steph Curry. Klay Thompson's respectable.
I can't stand Steph Curry. He's a vile little punk.
Kevin Durant is he's in La La Land most of the time.
Yeah, he is. He kind
And
of.
he's hurt too. Oh, what I wouldn't love to see the Houston Rockets beat them.
Well,
in
if
the
they, if
Western
they don't have
Conference
Curry,
Finals.
if they don't have Curry, there's no way.
Yeah, but they're
the
going to get
Warriors
past
are
their
gonna-
first round matchup without Steph Curry.
Who do they have to play?
I'll play with the Jazz or something.
Oh, all right. Yeah, they'll beat
Whatever.
them.
They'll beat them.
They'll beat
As long
them.
as they have Durant. As long as they have Durant.
Suppose they have to play the Spurs though. Aren't the Spurs
Tough.
like 7?
Tough shit.
Aren't the Spurs
Yeah,
like the
tough
7th
shit.
seed? Yeah, I'm just saying if they have to play the Spurs without Curry, that
I
could
can't
be-
stand. I don't understand the infatuation with Steph Curry, because he can shoot a bunch of threes.
Yeah, that's basically it. I mean,
He's such a crybaby. He
That's
never
all-
has his damn mouthpiece in his mouth.
no, I
It's
know.
disgusting.
He is. He's just a vile player. I can't stand him either. I mean, I don't really know what the infatuation.
You
The
see
fact
my
that the
boy?
guy's
Have you
a
seen
great
my boy
three-point
LeBron?
shooter.
You seen him playing lately? Triple double every night.
That's pretty. He's.
They got Kevin Love back there in Cleveland.
We'll see about them.
I hope that the conference finals stacks up where it can be the Sixers and the Cavs.
See, the Sixers could get through the first round now. You know, if they play the Celtics and the Celtics don't have Kyrie, I think they could definitely beat them. I don't think there's any question about that. We've also seen, you know, the Washington Wizards seem to have been very inconsistent lately. You know, they haven't exactly been a model of consistency either right now.
Deion Brown, what happened to Steph Curry? Steph Curry sprained his knee. He will be out indefinitely until at least the second round of the playoffs, per Steve Kerr. Mike Parker, I keep thinking, what if Harden and KD both would have been lifers as players for Oklahoma City? One of them would have went to jail. One of those three would have went to jail for murdering the other two, because they were never going to get along there in Oklahoma City.
No, it didn't. Wasn't
There's only one
Wasn't Serge Ibaka on that team?
Yeah,
too?
there's only one basketball.
That was some group of talent though.
Yeah,
But Oklahoma City could never have afforded to pay all those guys.
no, you're probably right.
I mean,
They
a
would have had to
small
take
market
pay cuts.
team. Yeah, small market team. It's not even a question of
It's
the
a
cap,
cap.
because the cap in the NBA is a big joke, as we all know. But because you can sign your own guys to whatever you want. But I mean, how much money? There's no way that team could have. How could a small market team like Oklahoma City spend all that money to keep those guys? It's too much money.
They wouldn't have. That's why they traded James Harden.
Yeah,
And they ended up getting a bad trade, but
Yeah.
the logic was there at least.
Yeah, but they knew that. That's why it happened. They weren't gonna, and they knew that they weren't gonna beat Miami either back then.
Fultz just re-entered the game. We're seeing in the Facebook chat. Dave Naho, Dreer Anderson, right-handed pitcher Lehigh Vale, get called up at some point this year. He went 9-4 with a 3.46 ERA last year. Bring him up. Sure.
Why not?
Put him in.
Let him
9-4. Let him pitch. Figure it
Let him
out.
pitch.
Figure it out.
3.4 ERA in AAA. That's good enough.
Put him in the bullpen.
Yeah. Well, you could let him start. Stretch him out. Yeah, see what you got. I mean, really, they did really needed to make another move with the pitching staff. It's too bad they didn't try to get Cobb.
I mean, and I hear what you're saying about Pivetta. I like Pivetta too. He shows signs.
He showed some ability. I mean, I thought his stuff was pretty good
with
yesterday.
Eichhoff out. I mean,
I don't like
Eichhoff.
I don't like Eichhoff
either.
Eichhoff, he throws that big overhand curveball, and he's always hanging it. I mean, every time I've ever seen him pitch,
But
he
for
throws
me
that
to be
stupid slow pitch, and he gets clobbered with
you
it.
need Pivetta to give you good innings. You need 100, 150, 160 innings out of Nick Pivetta.
Oh yeah, I
if
agree
you
with
want to get to where
at least
this
100,
Facebook chat
at least 150
thinks the Phillies are going to be this year.
At least 150 innings. You got to get 150 innings out of him. I'm looking at him the same way I look at CC Sabathia with the Yankees. Give me 150 innings.
But
and,
CC Sabathia has won Cy Young awards before.
But he's 100
won
years.
championships.
He's also 100 years old. At this
Doesn't
point in
matter.
his
He had a
career.
great season last year.
I realize that, but I'm just saying, give me that kind. But give me that kind
As
of.
long as he keeps his weight down, he usually has a good season. No?
Yeah, I mean, as long as his knee holds up, I mean that's really what it is with him. But I'm just giving you an example.
Right, I hear you.
CC Sabathia gives you 150 pretty good innings. Okay, that's what Nick Pivetta needs to do for you. If you can get 150 good innings out of him,
the Yankees are
3.6, 3.7 ERA, we may have a good discussion
It's
about
totally different. I mean, CC is giving the ball to probably the best bullpen in baseball after his 5 innings of work.
Yeah.
So
Right now it is. But we'll see about that, because sometimes weird things happen too with that. So we'll see. Dellin Betances still is not having a very good spring.
Yeah, but he's not that good.
He was until last year when
he's another
something,
one.
Something seemed to happen between the ears where he can't throw his fastball for a strike.
Deion Brown. Fultz looks rusty. He only has 2 points, but minus his points, he looks very rusty, as he should. Not playing for so long as expected. Yeah, it's fine. Throw him out. Throw him out there. Because if you want to potentially be the Cavs to get to the NBA Finals this year,
Get him 10 minutes. Get
you
him 10
need
minutes
that.
a
You
game.
need him
You got to get him like 10 minutes a game. Get him out there.
with the caveat that he's going to be playing 20 to 25 minutes
if he can get
come
himself back.
playoff times.
If he can get himself back into basketball shape.
The only way to get in basketball shape is to play basketball. I said
I
this a
agree.
million times with
I
Joel Embiid.
I
Oh, he
agree.
can't play back-to-backs. He's not in basketball shape. Yeah, it's because he doesn't play back-to-backs. He doesn't play basketball. You got to play basketball to get in basketball shape.
Well, I think actually this year, I do think Brett Brown's done a pretty good job managing his minutes. I mean, he hasn't gotten hurt.
No, the guy's a top. I mean, we've talked about it.
He's a dominant force.
He's a top 10 player in the league.
I agree with you. I agree with you. He's an intimidator underneath that basket.
Mike Parker, if the Sixers win it all, is the whole country going to be saying, well, what if Kyrie, Cousins, Steph didn't get hurt? Of course they are. Anytime a Philadelphia team is on the cusp of a championship, all kinds of bullshit gets thrown out to discredit the Philadelphia sports scene's accomplishment. Look at the NFL. They're investigating the Eagles fan base because the Minnesota Vikings
The fans are
talked
crying.
a bunch of shit at the NFC Championship game, instigated trouble, and then they got kicked in the mouth. So now they want to complain to the NFL that the Eagles fans were too mean, and that's fine. We
And
don't
what
care.
is the NFL going to do?
No one likes us. We don't care.
Yeah, but what is the NFL going to do?
Nothing.
And what fans are nice? You go into the
I guess
other
the
team.
Minnesota fans. So
Oh,
you're telling me.
I'm sure they're just.
So what are they?
Darlings.
So like when the Packers and the Bears come to town.
Yeah, I was
like,
gonna say. I was
What
gonna
do
say.
they invite them into their homes.
So Rob,
give them a
Rob,
free
let's
meal
go to-
in the
let's go
morning.
to Minnesota.
Drive them to the stadium.
Let's go.
Buy their tickets to the fucking
Man,
game.
let's
Are they
go-
out of their fucking mind?
Let's go to.
I hate the Vikings so much.
Let's go to
So
Minnesota.
much.
Let's go to Minnesota. Wear a cheesehead and wear an Aaron Rodgers jersey, and we'll see if they serve us tea and cookies.
They're idiots.
I mean, shut up.
They're
just
idiots.
Shut up.
I
Don't-
can't wait
you
till
know,
the Eagles.
Stop crying.
I can't wait till the Eagles kick their teeth down
You
their
come
throat
in. Listen.
again
You come in. You
on
come into
opening
somebody
night.
else's.
How many Vikings fans think are coming to that game on September 6th, Thursday, September 6th, when the Eagles raise the Super Bowl banner?
I don't think
in the
they'll
stadium.
I don't think they'll be showing up.
They're better than about one fucking Midwesterner in that stadium. I will make their life a living hell if I see
there might be
any
a couple,
purple in that stadium. They might not leave alive. I hate them so much. They're such softies.
They're such big babies.
I hate them
I
more
agree.
than I hate them more than the Cowboys and the Giants put together.
Oh,
I
boy.
hate the Vikings.
Ay, ay, ay.
I hate the Vikings. I hope they never win a Super Bowl. I hope they lose in the most painful, most excruciating way possible every game this season. Every single game.
You do realize that they're probably in they're in a very weak division right now.
Yeah, because the Packers are a bunch
The
of
Packers
clowns.
are full. The Packers have no defense anymore. Even with Aaron Rodgers, they're at best a 9-7 team. The Bears stink. The Lions, sorry, the Lions have shown me nothing over the last couple of years. Minnesota's got a cakewalk in that division. The West. The West, before everybody anoints the Niners as some great team. Remember they were 6-10 last year, so I don't know how quick they're going to win. They're going 13-3. I don't think so, not yet anyway.
All right, let's get into some NFL
But,
before
yeah.
we take a break here. Switch over.
Okay.
Gonna be switching over to YouTube after the commercial break. So follow the prompts on the website. It'll be on my personal Facebook page. Frank will get the word out as well. We have the A2D mock draft. I believe Greg is putting it together. I have been assigned picks 5 through 8. So
Yes, 5
So-
through 8.
Charles Mataran of Birds of a Feather, he has already posted his top 5 selections. So then I'll have 5 through 8, and then other people on the station.
And I got 24 through 26. for my
Frank has
picks.
24 for 26. So Charles kicks it off with the first 5. He has number 1, Josh Rosen, QB,
Oh, okay.
UCLA.
Gotcha.
His explanation. Josh QB, I'll make people read the article for the
Yeah,
explanation.
once it comes out, it'll be fully released probably around Friday, I believe. So check that
Friday,
out.
that quick?
Yep.
I got to get on my shit then.
You got to get your 5 through 8.
See, Frank
I'm just-
Frank Enrenreich wants everybody to know that he is here. Hello, Frank.
All right, so I have 5 through 8. So that's
5
the
through 8.
that's the Broncos.
Let me
That's
take a look
the,
at the picks.
the Colts pick 6 because they made the
Colts pick
trade.
6, right? Right.
7th is the Bucks, I think. I looked at it. I glanced at the order.
I think
when
you're
I
right
found out
about
what
the
picks.
Bucks and the.
And 8 is the Raiders, maybe.
You got the Broncos at 5,
Right.
Colts 6, Bucks 7, the Bears at 8.
Oh, the
okay,
Bears.
the Bears.
Well, hopefully they can make it. The Bears are doing some stuff.
They're trying.
Oh, they got Trubisky. They got Jordan Howard. They got Allen Robinson.
Yeah, they still need to stop somebody.
Well, if they need a trick
Can
play
somebody-
reverse, they have Trey Burton now.
Can they?
They can run a Chicago special.
Can they try to stop somebody though?
They can try all they want. Whether they will or not,
Are they
going to
give up? Are they going to continue to
perhaps
give up
I
140
will,
yards a
perhaps
game
I
on
will
the ground?
address their defense with the 8th pick in the first round.
Yeah, I think I would address their defense if I were the Bears. I would definitely be addressing the defense because their defense is horrendous and it's been horrendous for a while now.
The Colts are just a weird team at 6. What do you do if you're the Colts?
Offensive line.
Yeah.
The O-line?
Yeah,
Is there an
you've got to-
offensive line caliber
Oh, it's 6. Yeah,
at 6?
yeah, at 6 there is.
You got that Notre Dame guard.
McGlinchey, I know McGlinchey is probably sliding down on a couple draft boards.
Well, that guard from Notre Dame.
Yeah,
Nelson,
the guard on Notre Dame is supposed to be.
There's another
tremendous.
guard from
Notre Dame.
That's
the guy
the
in Notre
tackle.
Dame.
McGillicuddy. That's
Mc-
the
Mc-
that's
McGin-
the
McGinchey is the
McGinchey.
one. Yeah.
he's the tackle.
Oh yeah, that's right.
If
There's
I'm
a
if
guard
I'm a
out
Colts,
Um,
if
yeah.
I'm a Colts, I need to
I've
protect
seen-
Andrew Luck.
I've seen guards get taken in the top 10 before, and it never seems to work out.
But if you have a great quarterback, you got to protect
A
him.
guard in the top 10? Top 10 in the NFL draft, you're going to take a guard?
Maybe they'll trade down.
They already did it once.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. But I mean, they've got it. But they've got to address their offensive line. I mean,
Quentin Nelson, that's the guard. That's the guard from Notre Dame, not McGlinchey.
Nelson. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
he's. Or they could be looking at Bradley
Bradley Chubb.
Chubb. I mean, because they could definitely use because they don't have a pass rush either.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, the Giants might trade down and try to get Chubb.
That's been the buzz down there at those. They got the owner meetings or whatever they have.
Yeah,
down
they-
there,
Yeah.
whatever
they've
they
been-
call them. They're
I
down
could
there-
see the
down there in
Giants. I could see
Tampa.
the Giants trading down and drafting Chubb to replace JPP.
Oh yeah.
Interesting trade there. JPP for a 3rd-round pick, and then they swap 4th-round picks. It's a shame with JPP, but you know what? The Giants did a very smart thing.
Yeah, but how about
Because next year they would have had to pay him $19 million
he's not
guaranteed
worth
money.
that. He wasn't even worth that in his prime.
No. Well, when he was in his prime was another story.
When he
but
had all his fingers, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. But now with the gimme 3, he's just. Last year he had what did he have? 8 sacks last year. 8 sacks.
And I'm supposed
yeah.
to do like
and
I'm
you're supposed to
do like
give
a
him
little,
$10 million guaranteed money. That's just too much. That's why they let him
So
go.
Frank, when's the mock draft going up?
It'll-
Friday.
it'll be up. It'll be up probably late Thursday, sometime Friday. So Thursday, Friday it'll be released.
I gotta do. I'll find time at the office to do it. Squeeze it in. Priorities,
You'll get it,
Yeah.
Rob. Don't worry. You know what? I'm still as a Giant fan, I'm still hoping that they end up getting Barkley. That's the guy I really would like to see them get. But I would be
You got to be a moron not to take Saquon Barkley.
if you're drafting 2nd, you're right.
If you're drafting 1st,
I
you
don't
got to
know-
be a
I
moron
don't
not
know-
to take this.
I don't
kid.
know
You
what the-
got to be a moron.
But it's the Browns.
Have you seen his girlfriend? My God.
Well, listen, if Barkley is available, if you're the Giants, I think you got to take him. What happens though if he's not available? Do the Giants take a quarterback, or do they trade down so they can go and get maybe Chubb, or go get Nelson to finish off the offensive line? I mean, these are 2 positions they need to fill.
It's true.
I mean, look, their running back situation. I mean,
Well, I've said it a million
their
times.
running backs are okay. They're not great,
The
but
Giants went 4
Frank-
and 12 last year.
Frank, you're saying the Giants need a wide receiver. No, the Giants do not need a wide receiver.
No, I don't see that.
The
don't see
Giants
that.
have Odell Beckham Jr. and they
For
have
now.
well, for now, yeah, but they have Odell Beckham Jr. and
Odell Beckham said
Starling,
he's not stepping on the football field without a new contract.
they're already working on one.
That's good, and I'm not going to knock Odell Beckham at all for taking that stance. You saw what almost happened to him last year.
Well, no, they've already who was it? Tish already said that they're already working on a new contract for Beckham. So I mean, the Giants. The reason the Giants got rid of when the Giants got rid of JPP, what they were telling you was Odell was getting his money, and Landon Collins is getting his money.
As both they should.
Yeah, and that.
I mean, Odell Beckham's a dickhead, but I mean, there's not.
Yeah, but he's probably when he's healthy, he's the third best receiver in the NFL right
could
now.
be first.
He has the
he
ability to be first.
What did he do last year? Broke his foot.
He broke his ankle.
He broke his ankle.
Yeah,
That's
so,
if he's healthy for 16 games, his stats are going to be right there with Antonio Brown.
well,
all right.
they've always have been.
All right, we got to take a break. We'll be back on the other side. Switching over to YouTube, Sports Hounds will be back right after this.
Hi, folks. Bob Mannery here. You're listening to A2D Radio, real sports talk radio for the fans, by the fans, no agenda. These guys are the best in the business. Hashtag it. No notes.
All right, back BMW of Atlantic City Studios. Sports Hounds with you till 10 o'clock. Final hour here, exclusively on Facebook. Check out my Facebook page. The link is on there. Brad's Facebook page. The link is on there. A2D Radio on YouTube for the final hour. Boy, the Sixers have really turned on the Jets here. 96-82 with 8 minutes left. Markelle Fultz has gotten back in the game. Has 6 points, 3 of 9 shooting. Also has 6 assists now.
That's
So
good.
that's something. So
He should get a little.
obviously
He should get a little
starting
bit
to
more.
feel comfortable.
Yeah, he'll probably play till he gets tired now because they have a comfortable lead. That's
99-85. There's still 8 minutes to go. NBA is a game of runs. I mean,
well, it's
we'll
not garbage time yet, but he'll get some playing time now. But that's a good job by him.
Up to 12 minutes. Yeah, six assists.
That's a good thing.
That's good.
That's really
Very
good. He's
good.
distributing the ball. 3 for 9 is not great. You'd really like to see maybe
Or
45%.
1 out of every 3 after a 68-game absence.
That's not
we'll
so
deal,
bad.
We'll deal with that.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's not terrible. It's not 25%. That's not the worst thing.
Brad, I want to talk. I want to talk about the Flyers
Okay.
because they're getting killed for that loss yesterday. I don't understand. I get it. It was a bad loss. They got beat bad on the road against the Penguins.
Yeah, but they did get a point.
Alex Lyon plays in net. I mean, what do you expect? What do you expect from Alex Lyon against the Penguins on the road?
Well, it's either going to be him or Mrazek, and they both stink. That's
you get
that's
a point.
really the problem.
You're at 89 points.
The
You're
Flyers,
probably going to get
Flyers are
between
in the playoffs.
95 and 100
They're,
points.
they're gonna make the playoffs.
and they're going to lose in the first round, like they did last year.
Well, they didn't make it last year.
I mean,
The year
last time-
before.
right.
Most likely, yeah. That's probably what you're looking at.
They're probably going to be top wild card and
The-
play the Capitals.
The only way the Flyers are going to be successful in the playoffs is if their defense stops committing outrageous turnovers at center ice, because what they're doing is it just seems to me between the two blue lines, and I get it. Dave Hackstall loves to get his defensemen involved in the offense. I think they're second in the league in goals scored by defensemen, and I get that, and that's definitely a good thing. But these guys are getting caught way too often on 2-on-1s and 3-on-2s. They're not cycling enough to make sure somebody gets back when a defenseman joins the play, and they're getting burned. And the problem is when you play against good teams, when a good team gets a 2-on-1 against you, and the 2-on-1 is maybe Crosby and Kessel, one of them is going to score. Those guys like that don't miss. And when you're in the playoffs, if you get a 2-on-1 and Ovechkin is coming in on you, he's not going to miss. And that's the problem.
It was like there was a delayed penalty. I think it was the second period. There was a delayed penalty, so the Penguins
they scored on that delayed penalty.
Yeah, they brought the goalie in and they got the extra guy, and the Flyers couldn't get the puck. And
No, and the Flyers
Malkin just ripped one
and
from
the Flyers-
the high slot. And
the Flyers
he
are
got
not-
no chance.
And the Flyers are not good on the penalty kill at all. They're one of the worst teams in the league still on the penalty kill. Their power play's gotten a lot better, and they are scoring. And the one thing is when they play a team that's not good defensively, they're going to win now because they can score enough goals.
I mean, I hear, I listen to some of the sports talk radio, and I look at our Facebook feeds, and they're just getting killed. And I look at that game on the road, getting a point against the Penguins as a big success.
Well, I think
They're
watching
not as good. They're not as
they're
good
not
as
as good as the
Penguins.
Penguins. No, they're not. They're not.
And I get the Penguins aren't what they were last year or
Defensively,
a year ago.
the
but-
Penguins are not a good team. They're really not. If you take a look at their back line right now, other than Justin Schultz, they lost Ian Cole. He's not on the team anymore. there. It seems to me that who's their big time defenseman now? I can't remember his name. Letang just seems to be slow. A lot of guys seem to be going around him.
I bet you his legs liven up in the playoffs, though.
They better, because you know what? It seems to me with Pittsburgh that and they mentioned it, and they even mentioned it yesterday on the air. Milbury, I think, said it too. It just seems to me if you get a running start against their defense, you can go around them. They're not as quick as they used to be. I mean, it just seems to me, other than Justin Schultz, it doesn't seem like any of these other guys. Dumoulin's not playing as well as he did before. Olimata's not playing as well as he did before. Last year, Matt Murray has been up and down this year. They don't have Fleury, as the veteran influence to come in when Murray's not at the top of his game. They're a little weak defensively, and they're beatable. And I think the Flyer fans have seen this out of Pittsburgh. They've seen that Pittsburgh went to Long Island and got beat by the Islanders. Pittsburgh hasn't been a good road team. They're like 15-17 this year on the road. They're a great home team, but they're beatable. And I think the Flyer fans wanted to win yesterday. I think that they didn't want to go 0-4.
Obviously, it's like when the Eagles play the Cowboys.
They didn't want to go 0-4
every time,
but they didn't want to go 0-4. And that's the whole thing. The Penguins swept the series, so I think that's what's got everybody so aggravated about losing that game yesterday. And that was really a nice comeback. I mean, they pulled the goalie, they got that late goal to tie up the game. I mean, every time the Penguins fell behind, the Penguins scored. Every time the Flyers fell behind, they were able to answer. And it was a gutty game and a gutty point for them. And they still have to keep winning because the Florida Panthers are just relentless and haven't given up.
How about the Blue Jackets? 9-1 in their last 10.
Yeah, the Blue Jackets. I told you when Cam Atkinson came back.
You did.
That things were going to change with that team. Well, Cam Atkinson, that just goes to prove what an important player he is, because he's really the straw that stirs the drink in Columbus. There's no question about that.
Him and Bob.
Well, Bob is always out there. Bob is consistent, but I mean, Columbus was having a terrible time scoring.
Panthers are 3 points behind the Devils for the final wild card spot.
And what's the games in hand situation? How many games remaining?
The Devils have played 75 games. The Panthers only 73. So
that's
they have 2
exactly
games.
and they were ahead 4-1, I believe, last check.
You mean tonight?
Yeah, I think they were ahead 4-1 the last time I looked. So they're playing Ottawa.
3-0.
Oh, 3-0.
Florida's up 3-0.
Okay,
3-0.
Okay, the Capitals and the Rangers are 4-1. Okay.
Capitals and Rangers are 4-1.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So
Toronto's losing
to Buffalo.
Yes.
Wow.
3-2 with 10 minutes to go in the game.
Toronto will find a way to win that game. I can't believe Toronto. That's too big a game for them.
The Lightning, who are just running away with the Eastern Conference. Actually, they're not running away from the Bruins. Are only 2 games behind them, but they're playing the Arizona Coyotes. They are down 2-0.
Well, that would be typical Lightning, because what happens is they tend to
play down to their competition.
Yes. Well, they're a very strange team. Their minds seem to wander a lot in games, and they better make sure that doesn't happen in the playoffs, because I was watching them when they played the Rangers, and it was 5-1, and then the Rangers scored like 2 goals in a minute to make it 5-3, and started putting pressure on, and then Tampa Bay said, "Oh yeah," and it immediately became 6-3. But I mean, that's what Tampa Bay does nowadays. They're so good that they sometimes don't focus, but they're so loaded and have so many good offensive players on their team.
Who's their coach these days?
Cooper, same guy that they've had for a while. He's a very good coach. He makes halftime. He makes in between period adjustments. Tampa Bay still has a very good power play. They're really strong down the middle. The acquisition of JT Miller has really helped them offensively, because JT, when he was on the Rangers, the one thing that he did, he's a very physical player, and Tampa Bay didn't really have a lot of wings who hit and played physical and were good in the corners, and JT has given them that. And of course, Ryan McDonough coming back and playing, that helps them defensively. That they now have a legitimate number 4 defenseman on their team. I mean, McDonough could be a a number one defenseman on a lot of teams. He was a number one defenseman for the Rangers for many years. So at this point, that team, in my opinion, is the best team in the Eastern Conference, and I still like them to win the Cup. Boston, they're good. Rick Nash has helped them. I don't think they're as good as Tampa Bay. I think in a 7-game series, I like Tampa Bay. I do think that right now the two best teams in the East are Boston and Tampa Bay. I do not think Pittsburgh or Washington are better than either one of those two teams. I think those are the two best teams in the East right now.
All right, Sixers up 107-91. 5 minutes to go.
So now I think you could say that it's garbage time.
It is garbage time. 12 minutes. Still, I don't think they'll put Fultz back in.
No, there's no point to do that. He got 12 minutes in.
12 minutes, 6 points, 6 assists.
That's very good.
One
First
turnover.
First game back, and so his assists to turnover ratio is 6-1. That's pretty daggone good. I'm sure they would take that. That's good news for the Sixers, though. You know, because now you can bring that guy along, and hopefully he'll be all ready for the playoffs, and he can be a playoff contributor.
All right, we get some comments here, NFL comments here. I want to clean up.
Okay. One from Frank, Aaron Reich saying, OBJ's not going to be a Giant.
Yeah, I mean
he's going to be a Giant. They're not. They're
not stupid.
I was going to say that they
he's not going to be able to play until October, but
we'll see about that. But Tish already said that they're working. They've already begun the process of getting him signed to a contract. Trust me when I tell you, they didn't trade JPP, okay, and get rid of his money so that they could sit on the money. They traded JPP so they could sign Beckham and that they could sign Landon Collins. Those are going to be the two faces of this franchise going forward. So, I mean,
Giants need a wide receiver.
They do not need a wide receiver.
They need a lot of other things, but
I wouldn't put
receiver
another
up there.
They need another offensive lineman. They need a defensive lineman. They could certainly use another safety. It wouldn't hurt them if they got another corner.
You saw last year with the Eagles, you never have enough secondary people.
No, you don't. But the Giants, the most need right now is they need another offensive lineman, and they definitely need a defensive end since they let JPP go. And I don't know who's going to be the defensive end unless they bring in Bradley Chubb. I mean, he would be the most sense if they trade down. So
I guess. I mean,
that would be. I mean, as far as their as far as the way
I'm convinced the
they
Browns
wanna
aren't
play.
taking Barkley with the first pick. I'm convinced.
Everything I've heard is that they're going to take a quarterback
because they're morons.
Well,
and if the Giants don't take Barkley, then they're morons.
If the Giants still have the second pick and Barkley is available, they are morons if they don't take him. I agree. However, I would not call them morons if they trade down and get a bunch of picks and try to fill in a bunch of holes. I would not blame them for doing that. I'd be okay with that.
Not if Barkley's there.
But if the Browns pick Barkley and the quarterbacks
the Browns
are left,
aren't going to pick Barkley. It's too much of a no-brainer for the Browns to be on board with. They're going to take Sam Darnold, and he's going to stink. I can already see it now. He's stink. And then everyone's goo-goo gaga over his pro day because it was drizzling in Southern California miraculously, and he still threw the ball in a spiral.
We know he's got a good arm. That's not anything.
Well, that's the buzz. It was drizzling, and he still did good.
Yeah, but so did Rosen. And Rosen is a more polished.
You got to be a moron not to pick Saquon Barkley first pick in the
They're
draft.
saying actually that Josh Allen, they think that he has the highest ceiling, but they think that Rosen right now is the most.
The highest
pro-ready.
ceiling is Saquon Barkley.
Well, no, I'm talking about the quarterbacks. For the quarterbacks,
The highest floor is Saquon Barkley.
Well, yeah, he could be. Yeah. I mean, if I had my choice, if I'm the Giants and he was available, I would draft him.
He's minimum multi-time Pro Bowler. Minimum.
I could see that happening.
At best, he's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, well,
He's so good.
if you are going to draft second in the NFL, you better make sure that the second pick is a Hall of Famer. Because if your second pick of the draft is not a Hall of Famer, you messed up. You did a bad job. Plain and simple. I mean, this is the first time that I can ever remember the Giants drafting this high, and you know what? They better not screw this up. If they want to trade down, I'm okay with it. If they trade down, say with Denver, and they can get a whole bunch of first round picks out of the deal, and maybe a couple of second round picks. Okay, I'm okay with that. I could definitely live with that if Gettleman has a plan. That's fine. But if you're going to draft second and Barkley's available and you don't draft him, I think then what was the point in keeping Eli? I mean, it makes no sense. You've already addressed the offensive line. You brought in one of the best offensive linemen in the business, in the guy from the Patriots, Solder, which I can't complain about. So that side of the ball, you've already addressed it. You brought in a guy from from Tampa Bay who Norwell replaced, who was pretty darn good anyway. So the left side of the Giants' offensive line is pretty good. Their center, Brent Jones, is not bad. The right side is the scary side because Eric Flowers and John Jerry are, I'm not sold on either one of those two.
Bob Brinkman, Giants will sign Odell, move out of the second pick, take the offensive guard from Notre Dame, assuming Barkley is off the board.
I could see that. They also might get Chubb, Bob, because Chubb is a guy that they're looking at too to replace JPP. So that's the talk in New York right now. So
I mean, if Eli is still legitimate NFL starting quarterback, 100% agree with that.
I agree with that.
Well, the Giants have a chance to really bounce back here in the NFC. I think the Panthers got worse.
They do, but I
think the Saints are still really good.
But the
Packers aren't anything special.
They were 3-13 though. I mean,
because of injury.
They
had a bad year
and a bad coach. But I mean, they need to have a good draft.
The door is open.
Oh no,
the door is open for them to make the playoffs.
It is
next
because
year.
you know what? The Redskins are going to stink. The Cowboys stink. The Packers are not that good anymore. The Lions are certainly not that good. The Bears aren't that good.
Bears. The Saints are really good.
The Saints are really good. The
Falcons
are good,
really
and so
good.
are the Panthers. So
Panthers got worse though.
Yeah, but they're still probably better than the Giants, though.
We'll see with this draft. You add Saquon Barkley to this Giants team, and look out.
I know, but they're still probably better. The Rams are better than the Giants. The 49ers
Rams signing Ndamukong Suh this afternoon.
Yep, and the 49ers are probably better than the Giants too.
Yeah, I'm sick of it. I'm sick of hearing about the 49ers. Like, who do they have?
Who do they have? Other than Garoppolo.
Who do they have?
Other than Garoppolo.
They signed Jimmy G, who I like. He did a real good job down the stretch for him.
Garoppolo is a nice quarterback.
Carlos Hyde's on the Browns. They bring in Jerick McKinnon from the Vikings. That's a downgrade.
He's okay. He's not. He's nothing to write home about.
Who's the receiver?
They have
Garcon. Frank, who's the guy? The speedster. Marquise Goodwin.
Okay.
Their
offense.
They re-signed him. Who's their tight end?
I don't remember.
No one.
Their offense was rolling.
Richard Sherman is coming off double Achilles surgery.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Yeah,
what is he going to realistically do?
He's not going to be the Richard Sherman we're used to seeing.
He just wanted to go to the Niners to stick it to the Seahawks.
Right. He's not going to be the same player though. Isn't that that's the same kind of injury that
he tore his Achilles last year.
Yeah, didn't Revis have the same kind of injury, and he was never the same after that. Lawrence Taylor had to retire after he tore his Achilles because he was never the same.
Rams got a lot better. They got two starting DBs, good ones, and a stud D line.
Yes, they did. Rod, that's
Marcus
Bob
Peters is the most overrated corner in the whole league.
But he's still pretty good though.
He's okay, and he's a problem.
Oh, he's a big baby.
He's a big
weirdo.
baby. He's a
weirdo.
Exactly.
I agree.
Talib is older, but I've always loved him as a player.
He should still have enough in the tank to be.
I
San
agree.
Francisco's pretty good. I think they're going to be pretty good. The Rams. The Rams are the ones.
And
that
they have
Talib.
Aaron Donald and
Donald and Donovan Sue. Boy.
That's pretty good. But
That's
they
pretty
lost
good.
Robert Quinn.
Yeah, and they lost Ogletree too.
So we'll
So,
see.
Yeah, I mean, they took the money they saved on Ogletree and they went and got Donovan Sue. Is that a good trade? Basically, what they did was they basically traded Ogletree for Sue, and also picked up a 4th and a 6th. Is that a good
I
trade?
mean, Sammy Watkins is in KC now. He had 8 touchdowns for them last year. Big part of their offense.
Yeah, but Sammy Watkins actually stayed healthy last year.
Right.
As I
I'm
said,
just saying they have to replace.
I know.
They
I'm
replace 8 touchdowns
I know,
for Jared
but,
Goff.
but let me ask you a question: would Sammy Watkins have stayed healthy this year? Because Sammy
it's
Watkins,
always
I
a
mean,
question.
Yeah, with him. Well, I mean, that's a big question in the NFL anyway, but especially for him, he's always seems to be.
The Rams can draft for
right.
offense. Yeah, I think they're going to have to draft for offense. I think their defense is pretty set.
Yeah, and you know what though?
And they have Todd Gurley,
But let's
so
be honest,
they can
running
rely
back-
on him.
Not running backs, wide receivers in the draft are a dime a dozen. You can always find a good wide receiver in the first round of the draft, even from where they're picking. Even if they're picking in the 20s, they could still easily find a wide receiver down there.
What do they
down
have? They
that way.
probably have, what, the 20
They're probably like 25th or
Sixth,
26th
sixth.
or something like that. You know,
I
but
mean,
but you could find a wide receiver down there. You may not be able to get, you may not get an Antonio Brown type wide receiver, but you're going to get a pretty darn good wide receiver down there. You'll find a fast one.
Well, it's the NFL draft. If you're not fast, you're not getting picked.
Exactly.
Let's not forget the Eagles, who were really built to win next year. Yeah, the Eagles are going to be loaded next year.
The Eagles are still going to be the team to beat. I mean, they've done nothing in the offseason that says that they're not going to be the team to beat. Whether Michael Bennett plays a down for them or not.
This Michael Bennett thing is all a bunch of bullshit.
Well, it's
It says witch hunt written all over it.
we'll
I'm
see.
interested to see how this court proceedings
Do they
play
have
out.
any video of it?
Apparently, they have police officers who witnessed it. But if the police officers witnessed it, how come we didn't get arrested on the
Well,
spot?
let me ask you a question. And again, I can't stand Michael Bennett. So, but I mean,
He's not my favorite player in the NFL either.
He's like the leading kneeler in the NFL. He's the one that
Well,
kneels
over
and then
Kaepernick?
fights.
Yeah.
and
Kaepernick started it.
fights and fight. Yeah, but he's the one that was kneeling and then fighting with the fans and getting the most notoriety with the kneeling.
He's a
stuff.
big mouth.
Yeah,
He's a cocky
and
big
nobody
mouth.
nobody particularly likes him. Do you think maybe the kneeling had something to do with the cops going right after him? Maybe. I mean, I'm not accusing the police of doing anything.
Why does it take a year to come to fruition?
yeah,
Why
that's-
it takes a year?
Yeah, why?
I mean, I get he's accused of pushing down an
allegedly-
old lady who was in a wheelchair, and that's horrible.
if he really
If
did
he
do that,
finds out he did that, then he should, whatever
he will.
whatever they say.
if he
did-
really did do that, he's going to jail.
probably.
Yeah, if he really did do that, but I mean, I don't know. Was it him only, or was it like a whole crowd of people that ended up pushing their way
Well, he
through and
rushed the
knocking her
field.
over?
He wanted to rush a bunch of people rushed the field.
So was he the one that pushed her over, or was it the whole crowd that pushed
they
her over?
arrested him for that.
Okay.
Yes.
Did he get arrested at the time and then let go? And now he's being
No,
arraigned?
he was indicted.
Oh, okay. Oh,
He was indicted on whatever
if he's indicted,
aggravated assault.
yeah, you can't. Yeah, if you're indicted, they've got the goods on him then.
They have enough for a trial. He's not
Yeah.
guilty of anything.
No,
yet.
but they got the goods to bring him to trial. Now I don't know.
Right. He's in Texas right now. He's released on $10,000 bond. He was arrested. He turned himself in.
Yeah, $10,000.
He's arrested. He's in trouble.
Yeah, he is.
Howie Roseman at the owners' meetings this morning said that they had no knowledge of this incident when they made the trade for Michael Bennett. But I can't even really say. I mean, if I hear that trade offer that he got for Michael Bennett for a practice squad receiver and a 5th-round pick,
Maybe they knew something was up. Maybe that's why
but
they got
even
him
if
so
he doesn't
cheap.
play it down for the Eagles, I'm still making that trade.
Well, yeah, it's a worthwhile gamble. No doubt. I mean, that's
Chris Long will also be back in the mix next year for the Eagles. Howie Roseman said that.
Yeah, they just signed him, didn't they? Or
right.
they're going to sign
Well,
him.
he made it official this morning at his
Okay,
press conference.
That was the right move.
And with all the Wild Thugs running around, they want to concentrate on this. I mean, I guess. I mean,
Yeah, well, listen, Bob, you're not wrong. But if this is where they want to go with it, I guess this is where they want to go with it.
yeah,
You know,
I doubt very. Even if they do,
I just wonder.
they're going to strike a deal.
I just wonder again with Michael Bennett, with all the kneeling and just acting like a.
Well, the fans hate him. The players don't.
No, I know the players don't, but I'm just saying. But with all the kneeling, maybe he aggravated a faction of the police, and maybe this is the way they're.
He definitely
getting back.
aggravated
Yeah.
a faction of the police.
That's
That incident in Vegas where he was being a knucklehead and aggravated the police.
So yeah, I mean,
Where
he
someone
also
got shot outside of a club or something. And,
he
and
also made up a
he
story
was told
about
to stand still, and he didn't. He ran away. And
yeah, and he also he made up some stories too. So I mean, he's certainly done his share of aggravating, and maybe somebody wants to even the score, but that's a
right.
little
And
bit
Bob
much.
just brought up a good point. Why is this I mean, this happened at Super Bowl 51
last year.
when the Patriots played the Falcons, and he was there watching his brother, Martellus Bennett, who was on the Patriots. So I mean, that's well over a calendar year later.
Why did it take him so long to get indicted?
This
I
is
wonder?
why I question, Brad.
Yeah, why would it take a year? We'll see in the upcoming weeks to come where that goes. Rob, I want to get back to baseball again because baseball starts in 3 days.
Chromo gave you props for your shirt there. Number 2, Captain Derek Jeter.
Oh,
in
thank
the
you,
Facebook
thank
chat
you.
earlier. I just remembered about it now.
Thank you.
It is a good shirt, and I don't hate the Yankees as a Philadelphia fan. I hate the Mets and I hate the Red Sox.
Well,
I hate anything to do with Boston.
I hate the Red Sox and I hate the Mets. I have nothing against the Phillies.
But
we never play the Phillies, so it's not like
no, we always get stuck playing the Red Sox and having those
we always play them. We always play
ignorant fans coming down.
Yeah, and everybody hates Red Sox fans.
And we usually play the Orioles in interleague play as well.
Oh, that's
Because it's close.
yeah, that's a boring matchup though. Well, we do come
Who
down
is
here.
going to play? Greg Bird can't stand the guy right now. Out 6 to 8 weeks.
Yeah, he's really
leaving
starting to
a
get in
big, ginormous hole in my fantasy baseball lineup. Who's playing first base for the New York Yankees?
Tyler Austin.
Huge downgrade.
Not as big as you might think, but he's not as good as Greg Bird. But Tyler Austin can hit for power. I mean, he's not a bad hitter. He's not Greg Bird though. I would agree with you about
Not that it matters. I mean,
No, I mean, listen, they have enough offense. If they don't win because Greg Bird isn't on the team, then there's going to be substantially something else wrong with the Yankees. If that happens, because I mean, if you look at the lineup, at least from 1 to 5, you're looking at Gardner, Judge, Stanton, Sanchez, and Didi, batting 1 through 5.
here's another thing.
They're going to score plenty of runs.
If I'm Aaron Boone, I'm hitting Aaron Judge leadoff.
Oh no, I don't like.
Why
that.
not?
I know the sabermetrics. I've seen that, but I'm not in favor.
It makes
of that.
perfect sense. And I'm not a sabermetric guy, too, and I know that's a sabermetric take on
I know,
things
'cause you
right
want
there
him to
because
get
of
the
his on
extra at
base.
bat. I get
I want him to
that.
get the extra at bat and his on base percentage. He's got a Joey Votto like on base percentage, and he was only a rookie
So
last
does,
year.
But so does Brett Gardner. And you're going to only let him bat 3 times in a game?
What do you mean? You go Judge?
Brett Gardner's their leadoff hitter.
What's the difference? First or second?
No,
Who cares?
No, they're going to because what they want to do, what Aaron
I'm
Boone
not,
was
talking,
discussing.
I'm not talking about what they're going to do. I'm telling you what I want to do.
Okay, if
I would go Judge, Gardner, Stanton, Gregorius, Sanchez.
that's not a bad move. I could live with
The
that.
leadoff guy, it only matters once a game. Again, I'm sounding like an analytics nerd, and I don't really like analytics and sabermetrics that much, but it makes sense. And if this was a National League, if the Yankees were a National League team with all these guys, I wouldn't be suggesting it. But you
In
can
the
bat
American League.
you can bat a guy with speed in the 9 hole.
Aaron Hicks.
perfect.
You could put-
Fantastic.
You could put Aaron Hicks. You could put Aaron Hicks ninth. But what I was hearing was that they wanted to bat Gardner ninth, and Gardner's too good a hitter.
No,
You can't.
that's foolish.
Yeah, I agree. If you're putting Aaron Hicks ninth,
So,
But I
Brett,
hate- but Aaron
you're
Hicks-
not gonna have
Aaron
Brett
Hicks is
Gardner
your
now
number
maybe
6
not
hitter.
having at bat till the third or fourth inning.
but but the problem is, Rob, Aaron Hicks is a good hitter too. I mean, he's a guy that's going to probably hit 20 home runs this season. You really want him batting ninth? I mean, wouldn't you rather put Neil Walker or Brandon Drury ninth?
Drury would be great. Drury would be a good guy too.
I mean, Drury can run. Neil Walker can't. Neil Walker.
No, I would want a guy who could run in the 9th spot.
So you either put Drury. I mean, I would put Drury out ninth, just so that there's no pressure on him because he is coming to New York.
Because you're
going to
need those. I mean, I would say if Bird was healthy, you'd have more of a argument to bat Hicks 9th.
yeah, because but
But you're going to need his pop in the 6 hole,
Hicks-
6 or 7 hole.
Hicks does hit. Hicks
because
is a
Bird.
switch.
I mean, at this point with all Bird's injuries, you can't count on him.
No, you can't. But Hicks is a switch hitter. He bats left-handed also.
That's perfect.
So you put him sixth.
But I would bat Aaron Judge leadoff. I would.
Yeah, I'm not totally in favor of that.
Right.
I mean,
because you're an old timer.
well, no,
You
I am,
think
but
outside the box a little bit.
I am,
there.
but I like Gardner in the leadoff hole because Gardner's
Yeah, but
always
who
getting
cares
on
if he
base.
bats first or second?
Because you want Judge up first. I get that.
I want
but-
Judge up first to split up the righties.
Okay,
So I want my righties hitting 1, 3, 5.
and they're not going to bring in a lefty just to pitch to Gardner. Probably not.
I mean, cool. Burn your lefty.
That's true. That's true. And then
You're
And
gonna
then what are you
you're
gonna
gonna leave the fucking lefty in there to face Stanton in the 3 hole, or
No.
if you want to put Sanchez in the 3 hole, whatever, fine.
yeah, no. You're right. You're right. Problem is you don't want to bat Sanchez fifth.
What,
That's
I mean,
too low in the order. Listen.
So hit Stanton 5th.
You don't want to bat him fifth either.
Well,
because
someone's got to hit. They can't all hit cleanup,
Didi.
Brad.
Didi bats fifth probably.
I would hit Didi 4th. I would split them up. Cool. Bring in your lefty against Didi,
But if you're
and
gonna-
then bring
but if
in
if you're going to do that,
take him right on out when Sanchez steps up.
what could end up happening is you could see Judge, Sanchez, Stanton, Didi, and then Gardner, and then Hicks, and then the rest of the guys.
But that's, I mean, I get it. There's no formula against those 3 guys. Like those 3 guys, lefty, righty,
No, it doesn't matter.
junk
who's pitching.
baller,
They can hit anybody.
spitballer, they could hit it to the
Yeah.
moon on any given pitch. But, you can use a lefty specialist for 1 inning and get all 3 of them out.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. You don't want to have
that's
Didi.
stupid.
You don't have Didi and Gardner batting back.
No,
to
you
back
need
to back.
you need
Yeah.
Gardner and Didi to split up your 3 righties.
Yeah, you do. You do. Well, they might just do that.
Gregorius hit. I mean, I don't
Gregorius hits better. Gregorius actually hits better against lefties than he does righties, though. Believe it or not. So at least he did last year. So
watch. That's fine, and I don't watch every Yankees game like you do, but Gregorius hit 4th quite a good amount when I was watching the game.
He hit 4th in the playoffs last year.
So he's used to it. He's
yeah,
used to the
he
slot.
can handle the 4th spot.
The batting order and again, I'm sounding like a sabermetrics nerd here when I'm not a sabermetrics. I'm much more of a traditional baseball guy, just like yourself. The batting order really only matters the first time through the order.
That's true. That's
because you
true.
never know who's going to make last out, and you can sub for. That doesn't really happen much in the American League.
No, but
pinch run,
you're not,
double switch. You just
you're
never
not wrong
know
about that. Yeah. Well, the Yankees will have plenty of pinch running because they have Ellsbury is going to be on the bench, so he'll be pinch running probably late in games if they're down.
Well, he can't run too fast 'cause he might strain a hammy.
Oh, he might hurt his little toe. But Ellsbury's another one. God, I wish they could have gotten rid of him.
Sixers, JT. What up, Hounds? Is Gardner not the leadoff hitter? No, I would hit Aaron Judge leadoff if I was the Yankees.
Yeah, I kind of still like. I'm old fashioned. I still want to see Gardner as the leadoff hitter. I think the lineup right now, the way it's set, you can go with Gardner first, and then have the if you wanted to have Judge and you have Judge, Stanton,
You can
Gregorius,
hit
and
two. You
then
can hit two.
Sanchez.
You can hit two of the righties in a row. You can't
Yeah.
have three righties in a row like that. You shouldn't
No,
bat
yeah,
them
you
all.
want to. Yeah, you want to have one of the.
Because the
lefties.
Phillies did it for years with Utley and Howard.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't. I
You
wouldn't
can
have
do
three.
it.
Yeah. Oh, righties you can't. Lefties you don't want to do it with lefties though, because left-handed pitchers are a lot tougher on left-handed hitters than righties on
Oh,
righties.
the Phillies did it for years, and they were just fine.
Yeah, it didn't seem to bother them.
Well, because it was superior talent. It's
yeah,
like
well,
what I just
yeah,
said. I mean, it doesn't.
if they're great hitters, a great hitter, it doesn't really matter who they're facing. I mean, it doesn't matter what side of the plate.
Sixers, JT. Didi should be fifth now with Stanton, right? I like Judge 3 and Stanton at 4. Yeah, at Sixers, JT sounds like a traditional
happen. That could
baseball
happen.
guy like you. And again, I'm a traditional baseball guy too, but when you're in the American League and you have those three boppers, and first off, the only thing that makes it possible is Aaron Judge's on-base percentage and his walk
Aaron
rate.
Judge. Yeah, Aaron Judge.
He led the American League in walks last year.
Yeah, he walks
and was well over a 400 on-base percentage.
Yeah, he actually had a higher on base percentage than Altuve. For those of you who are keeping score out there of things
Right.
like
Well,
that.
it was. I mean, we've had this debate on end with on social media. Aaron Judge was the American League MVP last year.
He should have been.
He was my American League MVP.
Yeah, I thought.
And
so.
it's not a stats. I'm not saying Jose Altuve wasn't a deserving contender. Jose Altuve is a bad player.
No,
Because
Jose
he's clearly
Altuve
not.
is great.
But
He's a great
Aaron
player.
Judge was the American League MVP last year. The only thing that makes that possible, that it makes my argument hold water with Judge,
His
leading
on base
up, is
percentage.
on-base percentage
No,
and
you're
his
not.
walk
You're,
rate.
you're totally.
And he's not going to strike out 200 times. I'll bet money on that right
No,
now.
that's not going to happen. That's not going to. It especially will not happen because when you have the guys you have batting ahead of him, it's gonna rather behind him. It's going to make him that much tougher. I mean, you have to make sure that he's going to get fastballs because Stanton's going to be hitting behind him, and then you have to worry about who's batting behind Stanton. That's Gregorius. They have to pitch to Stanton. They have to pitch to Gregorius because Sanchez
is behind Gregorius, maybe.
Right. And
or however
you know,
they stack it.
yeah. So I mean, they're
Hopefully they don't put. I wouldn't put the three righties, which are Gary Sanchez, Aaron Judge, and Stanton. I wouldn't put them all in a row. Two
Yeah,
in a row is fine.
I would agree with you about that. I think, especially in Yankee Stadium. I mean, Gregorius, when they're in Yankee Stadium, Gregorius batting left-handed.
Especially with Judge in the leadoff spot, because then you're going to bring.
Judge is always going to be on base.
You're going to be. You bring in the lefty to pitch to Judge. Cool, you burned your lefty. Very few teams have
More than
two
one.
lefty specialists.
Right.
And then, what? You're going to leave the lefty in to pitch to Gardner? Like,
Well,
no.
Gardner. Well,
no.
They can't do that. They can't do that. So, I mean, it should be very interesting. I'm a little bit higher on Austin than you are. Okay.
Well, I mean,
He is not a bad player. He can hit the ball. I think he'll be fine at first base for a month. Now, over a long season, I'd rather have Greg Bird, but for a month and a half, I don't think it's going to make all that big of a difference.
well, it's not because first base is not.
It's not
the focal point of the offense.
no. And the other thing is, keep in mind
The
they have,
outfield and the DH
Rob,
are
they
the
have-
focal point
they
of the
have
offense.
they have so many other options too. If it doesn't work out with Austin, they could bring up Torres and they could put Walker at first.
And I
base.
think Drury's going to be
Or they
just
could
fine.
put-
That was a good pickup.
Or they could put Andujar at first base, because Andujar was hitting the ball like crazy.
That guy's
in
a
spring
monster.
training. Yeah, I mean they got Andujar is going to be playing first base in the minor leagues, so I mean it's not like they don't have in-house options, but they're going to start with Tyler Austin. I think he'll be fine.
Now, Roto Champ has Neil Walker as the projected first baseman with the Greg Bird injury. Is there water to that?
So who's going to play second?
Tyler Wade
Okay, they might do that. 'Cause Tyler Wade had a really
with
good.
Drury at third, Hicks at DH.
Tyler Wade is the kind of guy who can he would be actually a perfect ninth place hitter. He's not a great hitter, but he's real fast, and if he gets on base and you have it goes to
I mean,
your theory.
ultimately, that's going to be Torres.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's not going to be Torres yet because Torres they're gonna
No,
Chris
they're gonna
Bryant
keep him
him.
down there.
So
yeah,
they're gonna Chris
that's
Bryant him,
fine.
and they might
They
Chris
can
Bryant,
afford to do it.
Yeah, they're gonna Chris Bryant probably Andahar too.
They can.
They,
well, I mean,
they'll do it because they can.
if first base becomes a problem, you might want to get Andahar.
Well, if
up
it
there.
becomes a problem, they'll bring Andahar up. I would agree with you, but I think that's interesting that they're going to try that. I would say
this is
I would say
Roto Champs
okay.
projections.
Opening
this is
day,
nothing
though?
set in stone.
Okay, opening day, I totally disagree with them. I think Jay Happ is going to be the opening day pitcher for Toronto, is he not? And if
I haven't seen the Blue Jays
Jay Happ-
officially announce a starter.
I think
but
Stroman isn't. Stroman's got some inflammation in his arm, so he may.
like I said, I don't
may miss
follow
the
the
first.
Blue Jays on a day-to-day basis.
may
None of
miss
those
the-
guys are on my fantasy baseball teams,
Okay.
so I haven't
may
seen
miss
an
the-
official announcement.
He
for
may
their
miss the
opening day
he may miss
starter.
the first weekend. From what I heard, Jay Happ is going to be the opening day pitcher. Are you going to tell me that a right-handed power hitter like Tyler Austin isn't going to play first base, and they're going to play Tyler Wade at second base and Walker at first? That doesn't make any sense. When Tyler
Yeah,
Wade
you
is a
want-
left-handed hitter, that doesn't make any sense.
No, but that's a situational.
Okay, yeah. Okay. I mean, against
and that's
righties,
fine.
against
you
righties,
can do that. That's what
against
baseball's
righties-
about. That's why you need a good manager.
Yeah, no, against righties, they probably will do that. That makes sense against righties. Against lefties, though, I would think Austin would be your first baseman. I think Walker would play second. So I can't imagine they're going to use Wade against lefties. That would be a bad idea. Wade did not hit last year at all when he came up. So I know he had a very good spring, but that's asking an awful lot for a guy who hit about 110 last year to hit against lefties too. But they'll figure it out and they'll be okay. I can't imagine there's going to be any issues.
They're
for
still
them
not going to
scoring
have
runs.
any. No.
They'll score.
Not at
They'll
all.
score enough runs.
Sixers JT. I hate the Yankees, and that's fine.
That's
Sixers
fine.
JT. I honestly think Correa could challenge Judge for the MVP this year. Carlos Correa is an outstanding baseball player, and
I don't disagree.
um,
Carlos Correa is a superstar.
the Yankees have better pitching than the Astros just because of the bullpen issues they have down there in Houston sometimes because Ken Giles stinks. Starting 8 versus starting 8.
The Astros
the
are better
Astros are
right now.
just
The
as good
Astros
as
are
the Yankees,
better.
if not better.
No, they're better. I'll even admit that. The
Sixers
Astros are
JT,
better.
I think the Mariners could make the wild card. I don't know about that.
No
but
pitching. Other than Paxson, okay, who
fantasy,
exactly? Who's
yeah,
gonna pitch for them?
Mike Leake is average.
Mike Leake is average. Felix Hernandez,
He's old.
he's old and he's been injured. And I mean, I would love to see King Felix pick it up and pitch well again. But I think his best days are behind him.
Realistically,
Realistically,
yeah, that's not,
who Hideki Iwakuma? He stinks.
I just don't see it. I mean, I think they'll score some runs.
Yeah, I mean
Ryan Healy.
Angel, what the heck is his name? That pitcher, Angel Miranda.
Yeah, he was optioned to AAA today, so they don't like him for whatever reason.
Yeah, I mean he's a guy that'll strike out 10 guys one game and then he'll give up 10 runs the next game. So
They should score runs. They bring Ryan Healy over. They have Cano, who
they still have Nelson
is
Cruz.
good. They have Nelson Cruz.
They have Seager.
Seager.
I mean,
D.
they got
Gordon's
guys.
going to play center field.
Zanino is a pretty good offensive catcher. He had over 20 home runs last year.
So we'll see. I mean,
Yeah, they'll be okay. I mean, but let's be honest, okay? Right now, the Astros are clearly the best team in that division.
who has more wins, the Mariners or the Phillies?
Oh, the Mariners are going to have more wins than the Phillies.
I agree.
Yeah, no, I think the Mariners are a better team than the
Mariners
Phillies.
have a good Edwin Diaz. He's a really good closer.
You know, he's not bad. He's not bad. I mean, listen, they are going to score some runs. I just don't know about their pitching. I don't think their pitching's good enough. Other than Paxson, who really is who's really that good on their as a pitcher on that team?
No one.
Yeah, I mean, listen, he had a great year last year, and he was healthy finally in the second half of the season.
I think they're third best in that.
Yeah,
division.
I would agree. I think
the
Angels are clearly
the Angels
second.
and the Astros are better.
Yeah. Sixers JT, you forgot about Gleyber Torres. JT, he will be up probably after the 17th. They're Chris Bryanting him, and he also had He also had surgery on his shoulder. He had
Tommy John
he had
surgery
on his non-throwing shoulder. So he needs a little bit more. He needs a few more at bats. So he's not going to come up till probably the middle of April. But he'll be up. You're right about Gleyber Torres, but just not yet. That's why I didn't consider him.
He's sick.
Yeah, he's going to be a good ball player. The Angels, I think, are going to be your second place team.
Yeah, because the Rangers, they're not anything.
No, the Rangers stink. They're nowhere this year. Oakland is no good either.
Oakland, yeah, that's the other team.
Oakland's no good. Other than Sean Manaea, they really don't
He's
have
a good
much
player.
pitching. He's a good pitcher, but he's the only one.
Well, they have. This is what the A's do. They dump all their players and they bring up.
The A's right now. If you look at their shortstop, is very good. Semien, he's good.
Franklin Barreto will be up though. He's gonna play somewhere.
Their third baseman is
Chapman is another top 100 prospect they've brought along.
He's a nice ball player.
Matt Olson is first base. He's a
They've
power hitter.
They've
see
got
if he develops.
Yeah, they got some guys, but they still have a long way to go. I mean,
that's the frustrating thing about the A's is they always have a long way to go. They never get there. They never want to get there.
No, they don't because they sell off their players as soon as they.
You see that nonsense where they're trying to charge Giants fans more money to park at their stadium.
Oh boy, are you serious?
I'm serious as a heart attack, Brad.
Oh my God, that's Oakland. Boy, that's like the days of Finley, Charlie Finley when he used to the team. That'd be something he would do. Charge the team.
I love it.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
I love it.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Why not?
Well,
the Giants and the A's. That's not like it's the Giants and the Dodgers where people get paralyzed.
No, that's
for rooting
true.
for rooting for the wrong team.
Yeah, they're.
When's the last time someone got paralyzed at an Eagles game?
I don't recall that ever happening.
Yeah.
No, no.
You leave that out of your little Facebook post when you're burying the Philly fans, though.
Well, they are pretty rough.
Yeah, but
They're
sticks
pretty
and
rough
stones,
around the
Brad.
edge. They're pretty rough around
Sticks
the
and
edges.
stones break bones, but names will never hurt you.
No, that's true. Well,
Unless you're a Minnesota Vikings fan.
Well, the beer can get a little annoying when you're wearing it all the time. But I mean,
they started it.
Listen, I wasn't there. I don't know. I mean,
they started it at 9:00 in the morning by dressing up the Rocky statue.
Okay, Sixers JT
in a Vikings uniform and doing their stupid copycat Norwegian soccer chant on the Art Museum steps.
That was stupid. Okay, Sixers JT. We all know that the Yanks and Astros are probably the two best teams in the AL. Where do Cleveland and Boston fit in? And if he thinks the Indians are going to take a step back,
that's a triumvirate in the American League.
As
far as I'm concerned.
I don't think the Indians step back at all. The Indians are a real good baseball team.
Indians are loaded.
Yeah, the Indians are real good. I mean, the Yankees barely beat them. They beat them in 5, and that was an upset. Nobody expected the Yankees to beat them last year.
I picked the Yankees.
Yes, I know you did.
I picked them.
I didn't think the Yankees were going to beat them.
You didn't pick the Yankees. I picked the Yankees in that series, though.
I didn't think they were going to beat the Yankees. Really, actually, instead of beating them 3-2, they actually won. They actually won 4 games. If that meathead Joe Girardi would have actually have done a replay on that ball that hit the tip of the bat, that hit the bat handle, when the guy pretended to hit his hand and went to first base, and listened to Gary Sanchez. The Yankees would have won that game too, because then the very next pitch was a grand slam home run. So, and if anybody thinks that doesn't have something to do with Joe Girardi getting fired, think again, because the Yankees don't like stuff like that. You know, if the catcher, Joe Girardi, there's no doubt about the fact that Joe Girardi and Gary Sanchez were not on the same page, and you know how I ripped Joe Girardi last year.
Yeah, you didn't like him.
No, I don't think he was a good manager. I think that the Yankees won in spite of him. I used to call him Clueless Joe, and he deserved it. As far as the getting back to the Indians and the Red Sox, the Indians are going to be a major factor, just like they were last year. They have arguably one of the top 3 pitchers in baseball in Corey Kluber. Jose Ramirez is a tremendous player. They still have Ed Encarnacion.
How about the
Francisco Lindor? I mean, they're a good team.
How about the Twins? We were talking about the Twins contending if Sano didn't get suspended.
Sano is not going to be
He's not
suspended.
getting suspended.
So that's
So-
a huge break for the Minnesota Twins. Clearly, the Twins are a good team.
I hope the Red Sox miss the playoffs so bad, and the Angels and the Twins are the wild cards.
You know, the thing is with the Red Sox, though, I mean, they've got really good pitching. They really do.
Do they though?
Sale,
He's a stud.
he's a stud. Then you've got Price, who
Okay,
I don't know,
that's a huge maybe.
maybe Price, maybe Pomerantz if he's
Pomerantz
healthy.
is. I love Drew Pomerantz. I think he's
Pomerantz is a, I think,
supremely underrated pitcher, but
He's a
he's
good
starting
pitcher.
the season on the DL.
yeah, I know that's a problem.
Rick Porcello.
We don't know. Rick
I mean,
Porcello became the Rick Porcello that everybody knows last year. The one that used to pitch for the Tigers, the one that was a 500 pitcher with a
that
4
was
ERA.
not the 22-3 Cy Young.
No,
Award
I don't
winner,
know who that
whatever
was,
the hell
but
he was.
I don't know who that was, but that wasn't Rick Porcello. And Rick Porcello, I expect to come back. Did come back to earth last year. I don't think was he as bad as he was last year. Probably not. Will he be as good as his Cy Young year? Highly unlikely. Is he going to be somewhere in the middle? Most likely. I could see 10-8, 4.2 ERA for Porcello. I think that's about right. Edwin Rodriguez is starting the year on the DL, so and so is Stephen Wright. I have no idea who their fifth starter is going
Dustin
to be.
Pedroia is on the DL as well.
Yeah, and he'll be on the DL till mid-May. Don't like their first base situation. I can't stand Hanley Ramirez.
I can't
Mitch
believe
Moreland isn't that good. Devers, I'm not sold on him.
Oh,
Got
yeah,
off to a great start, but
I mean, he's young,
cooled
so
off.
he might
Yeah.
have growing pains, but he's going to be really
cooled off big time
but he's a
second time
prospect.
around. He is. Bogarts is by far the most overrated
good. I
shortstop
don't get
in
the
the
hype
history
around
in the
Bogarts.
history of baseball. Benintendi is the real deal. He's a stud. I'll give you that.
I love Bennett.
Jackie Bradley is mediocre.
He's a
He's
defensive
a
guy.
great defensive center fielder, but he's not a big hitter. And you got a real strong player in right named Mookie Betts. And J.D. Martinez is going to be an outstanding DH. But keep in mind with J.D. Martinez likes to hit the ball to right center field. He's not a typical Fenway Park player. So we'll see if he can hook the ball over the wall, because the ball must be hit a lot harder to right center field in Fenway Park than to left center field. Left center field.
I hope they fall
Pop
apart.
up. Oh, I hope
Those
they
fans
do
would
too.
melt.
Yeah, they would. They would. Them and their $235 million payroll, and then they still call the Yankees the evil empire when the Yankees haven't
No,
signed
the Red Sox suck.
a big-time free agent in God knows how long.
I mean, my dreams, because I think you can't ignore the talent they have there in Boston. So I think
Oh,
they're
you
going to
can't.
grab a wild card.
I think they will. But the Twins, that the situation with the Twins getting Sano not suspended, that's big. The question is do they have enough pitching now? If you look at their outfield, they have their outfielders can hit. They got infielders who can hit, but their pitching. I mean, you drafted their ace. I can't remember his name now.
Jose Berrios.
Berrios is very good.
Well, Irving Santana will be back soon.
Well, he'll be back in 2 months. But they
They
got
have-
Santana. They picked up. Didn't they pick up Lynn?
Odorizzi and Lynn.
Yeah, they picked up Odorizzi and Lynn.
And they have Kyle Gibson, too, who
He's
strikes
okay.
out a lot. He's the fifth guy, though.
Yeah, he's okay. He's not bad. I mean, their rotation is a lot better. I mean, they're good enough offensively that I think they could challenge
Well,
Cleveland.
the key to their
but
whole team is Byron Buxton.
Byron Buxton's a phenomenal player. I mean,
I
I think the Twins can be 5 to 6 games behind the Indians, and I think the Indians are a 92-93 win team, so which would make the Twins around an 87 to 88
I love
team
the
win.
Angels in the wild card.
The Angels might do it, because I'll tell you what, they have so much talent now. And you were right. You were making a point about them 1 through 7. That is one
Really
heck of
good.
an off. Yeah, it's really
But
good.
anyway, we got to wrap things up tonight. Sports Hounds will be back next Monday from 8 to 10 for Rob Brinkman, Brad Ryer. We'll see you next week.